transplanted seeds in me that you can see where those seeds have sprouted in my life and helped change my life.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
An international steel company has announced plans to expand here in Alabama. SSAB Steel is going to build out its facility in Axis. The company will invest $74 million to produce high-strength steel. Construction of the new tempering furnace will begin this year and should be completed by 2027. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
iTaco has delicious, authentic Mexican food. Enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner at iTaco. Tasty shredded beef street tacos, even lamb tacos on Saturdays. That's iTaco on Decker Lane, right across from Arrowhead off the Atlanta Highway.
It's almost Mother's Day, and you can now get anything you need delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. So no, you can't order a relaxing shower, but some beautiful flowers, you bet we deliver those. A bird bath? No. A bath bomb? Absolutely. It's no to a chocolate lab, but yes to some chocolate truffles. So whether it's a last-minute gift for Mother's Day, fresh groceries, or food from your favorite restaurants, get it delivered today with Uber Eats. Order now. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
This is a Trump country. We live in the Southeast. We drink sweet tea. We don't drink socialist Kool-Aid.
Welcome into the program here on a beautiful Monday afternoon out of Montgomery, Alabama. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader, my trusty co-host, here in the studio with me with his Gulf of America shirt.
That's right, buddy.
Hey, turn that camera and show folks that shirt. That's a good-looking shirt right there. Yeah. I like that a lot. Me too. Is that Trump just all ready for summer himself?
Oh, yeah. And it looks kind of like me. I got to be honest. It's got some Eddie hair going on there.
It does have, it does favor you to a degree.
A little bit. I'll take that.
So welcome into the program. There are so many things we could get to today. In particular, the mystery of why is it that the poorest kids in our society are the fattest?
I don't think it's a secret.
I mean, it's just a real thing, though.
Yeah, it's very real, but I don't.
Right. All these kids on Snap, they're just real fat.
Well, look what they're allowed
Shouldn't
to buy.
be. Well, that's true, but it's like, why not some basic, like, just get like a rotisserie chicken or something? Tasty.
Sure,
it's pretty good for you.
Sure. But
that was a classic meal my mom would make: rotisserie chicken with grapes.
Grapes?
Yeah, grapes. Not bad.
It's
actually a good combination.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Maybe do some like some Parmesan cheese shavings. Now that's getting bougie, but still good. All those three combined, it's great. Yeah, I mean, there's simple things that are like whole foods. It isn't the same thing as eating
you
a
can
whole.
make a gazillion things. Yeah,
mac and cheese even.
Yeah,
like you can even get the processed cheese. That's fine.
Well, actually, some of the government cheese is some of the best cheese.
What do you think's causing a lot of these poor kids to be fat? Like, what are they buying? Soda?
Some food, dude. Yeah. What would you buy if
whatever?
Mom, here's $5. Here, son, take care of yourself for the day. What are you gonna do?
I mean, how much does stuff cost in a vending machine now, though?
I don't know. I know at a Hyundai we used to get it on the regular. Oh, it was awful. I think 2 chili dogs were like $6-7.
Oh, chili dogs from the gas station. I've told this before. Parks and Rec. I worked there one summer. There's a guy on the regular. We leave the shop.
Yeah.
So it had to be like 9 a.m, if not earlier. We'd stop at the Circle K, and he'd get 2 big old chili dogs where you put your own serving of cheese and chili on top. When you open up the contraption, it's really just a big plastic bag of slop. He'd just suck those 2 down, to quote the song.
He had to be fun to ride with in the afternoon.
And he wasn't even that big.
Now, do you know, did he get the leathery ones that have cooked all night, or did he get the
No,
fresh
these are the ones they started cooking at like 6 a.m. So, it's been on there for 2-3 hours,
Okay.
slowly turning on it, as Greg Budell calls it, the wienerisserie.
Now, I used to love those, but not as an adult.
I
can't
did it
have
one
those
morning
anymore.
with him.
Yeah, how'd that go?
I didn't do that again.
I bet you would have a even more drastic reaction now because you're older.
Yes, I think so. Though they are good. The
They-
gas
yeah,
station
yeah.
hot dogs
That's like
sometimes.
crystals.
Yeah, it's hard to beat sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, where can I buy this in the grocery store and make it at home? And I don't think you can.
You can't. And plus, you always do it. You do it once in a while because you generally learn a lesson.
Right. So I'm thinking soda is a main culprit because the amount, how easy it is to suck down a Coca-Cola or a
Honey
Dr. Pepper.
buns, sodas, donuts,
Or Sunkist.
chips.
Like a grape Sunkist or a regular Sunkist. And you're talking hundreds of calories, though, in just that one can or one bottle.
Yep.
And then, Cheetos are so easy to eat. Ices?
Yeah.
Well, you know something about that icy, man.
Yeah. So if they were allowed to buy those, I can't imagine all the things they could buy.
Oatmeal cream pies?
Oh, yeah.
Fudge rounds?
Yep. Yeah.
See, like Swiss cake rolls, you can't eat in the car. They're too delicate. You know what I mean?
Had them
They're
for
too
breakfast
delicate.
this morning, Joey. Yeah, you can. You just have to lick the
It's just, that's gross.
thing when it's you
lick
chocolate on there somehow.
Wait, just for the record, you lick the cardboard.
No, not the cardboard. The plastic. It was a little warmer, so the
The plastic, but the white cardboard where usually some of the chocolate is left behind.
didn't have that issue. Mine was stuck.
Oh,
on the
really?
top,
It's
yeah.
stuck on the top.
Probably
That's
fresh.
interesting. So you lick the plastic, not
Oh,
the
yeah.
cardboard.
Yeah. It was either me or Roxy, and I
Right.
can't let her have chocolate.
No, that's chocolate's not good for dogs.
Thank you.
Even a dog that weighs 100 pounds,
Right.
I think should be fine with that little bit of
Me
chocolate.
too.
Steel trap that dog has.
I know that for a fact.
So it's like I'm trying to think all the ways I got fat, but how would a kid on Snap end up so fat? And it really is astounding numbers. You're talking like 70-something% of people overweight and obese who are
How
on
much
Snap.
outside activity did you have? And did
A
we
good bit.
have as a kid as opposed to today?
Good bit. I still rode bikes. I love using imagination, like build a fort.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
man, we used to build them down the woods all the time.
Yeah,
But
it's so much
again,
fun.
If I had a young child, and even my grandchildren, I'm playing with them in the yard, but we're not. They're not going out on their own. Not in the world we live in today.
No, and apparently, like this recent visit with my aunt and uncle brought my grandfather, got to see my brother, his wife, and of course, my beautiful little niece, Lucy. And it brought back, after she went to bed, it brought back them telling all these stories of our childhood. And apparently, both myself and my brother were pretty big hot shots when it came to basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Like we never saw a shot we wouldn't take. And we were
I
actually
hate
pretty
that
good.
Ended with basketball for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Now it's like, do I have to take a shot? Like,
right there with you. Yeah.
Right. So no, I was fairly active as a child. I was pretty fast too.
Yeah,
I was
but
pretty
now,
sudden.
your age generation was more the video games, though. Like
I had a
mine
mix.
was
I had a mix.
really, I guess that kind of just started at mine. I never really got into it.
See, video games for me though were like early Mario, Zelda, and Madden, and then the early NCAA games. For a while, there's the Dreamcast where you got the 2K sports games, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
But no, and then half the time I really would be outside. So I got I talked about this last week where I am, I think, the last generation, an older millennial, where you got that experience of go outside. You still got to watch movies, and then video games come around. And slowly but surely, though, I say this in my own life, I barely go outside.
Yeah, it was different growing up with me. Our parents, you had to leave.
Right.
And I'm like you now. As I get older, man, I live on the lake and I don't go outside near as much as I should. And because it's hot.
Yeah.
It's very
It is
uncomfortable out
hot.
there.
It is uncomfortable. Yeah, people are like, you want to go outside? Why?
I hate this morning. I had my coffee on the deck. It was great.
Sure.
But within about 30 minutes, the sun beaming down. It's getting hot. I'm getting old. Let's go in the house.
No, somebody said, I've thought about it because when I went over to the Shakespeare Festival for Hamlet the other day, I brought back memories of playing out there at Blunt Cultural Park. And somebody messaged me earlier today saying I should go look at the place myself. And I'm like, why? Well, because I was just over there and around Shakespeare looked great, as it always has looked great. And I saw the field where I, ran a fly route on my uncle and he fell and tore his rotator cuff. It still bothers him to this day.
Yeah, probably because you keep bringing it up.
He probably hurts his golf game.
I'm sure
he lives right. His house backs up to the 9th hole of the AU golf club. And it's like, yeah,
I'm sure he remembers that fondly.
You spend all that money and still your golf game is suffering. But, so I hadn't been in like Blunt Cultural Park, though. Like the big area away from ASF, away from the Fine Arts Museum, like that big park and open area.
And throw some Frisbee.
And somebody said, well, I know you're aware of the rape that took place here. Yes. In broad daylight, like 10, 11 in the morning.
Right.
I wonder if that person's still at large.
Yes.
No security, this person says. Apparently the word has gotten around. The homeless sleep there. Cars are doing donuts in the grass. It's a mud riding thing now that the grass in some areas has been destroyed.
Wow.
Some stone columns have been hit and destroyed. Red Blunt would turn over in his grave if he knew this beautiful facility he generously gave to the city had come to this.
Why
that's crazy if that's happening.
Yeah, why has it come to that? Lack of security is one thing. I would think there would be funds available for that, just to keep a body out there or keep cameras, something.
Right. No, that's nuts if that's going. And that's a shame because that's a beautiful park.
Well,
and I know there's a big dog park over there too on more the Vaughn Road side, and it really is a beautiful gem here in the city.
Great things here in the city, and
I just got word they made an arrest in the rape this week, over the weekend.
Nice,
good. Glad we got the SOB.
I hope he's still in jail.
Yeah. But, the point is, it's a beautiful time outside, and maybe that's why the poor kids are getting so fat, because they get government subsidies to eat all the fast food. By the way, these big companies make a deal with a lot of the government interest. Why is the farm bill always such a big deal?
Exactly. Well, not only that, how much PE did y'all have a lot of PE in school?
Yeah.
Do they, and
every day?
Just out of ignorance, do they still do that?
Every day. And when I was in 2nd grade, we had a secret fight club. We would talk about that. We've just, it's past statute of limitations.
Okay.
If somebody who's in my class from then shows up and
slaps the crap,
but we would sneak behind, like, this is how stupid kids are. We would sneak behind like a hill where they couldn't really see us.
Yeah.
And we knew the teacher and her fat ass wouldn't get up. And I don't mean that. I'm sure my teachers were skinny. I was just a child. They just looked fat. And so we go over this hill and where they couldn't see us, and we just fight for no good reason.
That's all right.
I remember
that's boys being boys.
Stopped because I think I and a few other, like, I got a bloody nose one day, and like there were signs of we were fighting each other.
You still know the boy's name that gave you a bloody nose?
No.
Wow.
No, because it does all blur together. I've met some folks that say, "Yeah, we went to St. Pete together," and I'm like, I used
to take you behind the hill and whoop your ass
because I had a pretty strong friend group, and even the kids I wasn't good friends with who stayed from kindergarten through 12th grade.
Yeah,
that was my school experience there at Montgomery Catholic, and overall, it was great. And so I remember those folks who were essentially there for the long haul. A lot of them. Some still living in the city. What's up, Andrew? What's up, Jonathan? So I'm wondering, though, like, when did this get so bad that the kids started getting fat? I mean, you're talking about
they were
early onset diabetes. You're talking about, it's not just a joke. It's like, this is not healthy for anybody.
When we were kids in the neighborhood we grew up in, a lot of welfare in that neighborhood, those kids had the best snacks.
Really?
Yes.
What was the snack you always longed for?
It would be the little Debbie cakes.
Really?
Yeah. And they're yeah.
Not the fudge round. Not the fudge round.
Not the fudge round. It'd be either ho-hos or the little Debbie cakes, the Swiss rolls. Or occasionally, I mean, that's where I got hooked on the oatmeal pies.
Oatmeal pies are good.
And then they came up with the double stuff.
Oh, the double stuff oatmeal pie? Oh, yeah. It's unreal.
That stuff's addicting.
I think stoners took over the food industry.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt.
Because when you go down the aisle now and say, like, a grocery food outlet, Publix, wherever, and you just see all the different types of Oreos and Chips Ahoy.
Rice Krispie treats. There's like 30 different kinds of Rice Krispie treats.
Crazy. And most of them aren't even that good.
They're
just
not
give
that
me
good,
the original.
That's the thing. They're not that good.
Just give me the original. But here's a fella from the All In podcast. He's talking to Secretary Rollins, who I'm thinking she's the ag secretary.
Yeah.
He's asking about this problem. Let's listen in together.
It is $123 billion a year. So just to create some context, 13% of Americans are on the food stamp, the SNAP program, at $123 billion a year. That's roughly, call it 2% of America's federal budget is going towards the food stamp program. And one key kind of policy point that's come up lately is that roughly 10% or $15 billion a year is spent on soda.
Yep.
And 75% of the population on SNAP are clinically obese.
Yes.
And there's a real health concern
Yes.
about the SNAP program continuing to fuel a health crisis in America. What have you, and in partnership with with Secretary Kennedy, talked about with regards to addressing the health challenges that arise from the way the SNAP program operates today?
I know they're being very serious and they have the best of intentions, but if you had to like come up with what is the funniest population we could get to protest?
What do you mean?
Like if we could take away a benefit or restrict a benefit, what would be the funniest population to piss off that would then go out and protest? I'm not even thinking that is one. I'm not even thinking of kids here in Montgomery. I'm thinking of Appalachia, where like the Honey Boo Boo stuff.
Yep.
It's like, oh, I want my Mountain Dew.
There's a whole new Honey Boo Boo movie thing coming out. Oh, can't wait.
Really?
Yeah, I can't wait.
But that's the funniest population.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Right. And it's not like you're cruel to them. It's not like, no, you just say, hey, if we're going to give you the people's cheese, literally and figuratively, you actually have to eat healthy, but I want my Mountain Dew.
That's something that I don't understand. I understand, okay, we're feeding folks. I understand that we took away the books of food stamps and made it a card to make it less shameful. Okay, I get all that. However, what I don't understand is what they're allowed to buy with that. That seems outrageous.
$15 billion you just said spent on soda from just this program. That's, if you're the soda companies, you're like, yeah, we want to be part of that benefit list.
Not only that, Joey, you see baskets loaded with steak, you see baskets loaded with seafood, and they're whipping out the EBT card. Is that the wisest way to spend my money? And I say my money.
That's a good point.
Because those people generally are not the ones contributing to that. They're the ones taking from it.
Let's listen in to Secretary Rollins. She's going to answer what they're up to.
Yeah, that's been a pretty big priority of ours. And within the first hour of being sworn in on February 13th, 50 letters went out to all 50 governors in the country. Because the way the program works, it moves through the states. And I love that anyway. Like, why would the federal government be telling everyone what to do? We want, in the founders' best vision of the 10th Amendment, to allow the states to build those programs. But within that was, why are taxpayer dollars, billions of taxpayer dollars being spent on sugary drinks and junk food to go into our supplemental nutrition program for our food insecure populations, our lower income populations, when, to your point, the backside is an obesity and chronic disease epidemic unlike any developed country in the history of the world has ever seen. 74% of our adolescents, our teenagers, would not pass the military readiness test of our United States military right now today. 75%.
Damn.
So again, talk about national security, talk about all of the things. This is a massive, massive challenge facing America. And in the first administration, and healthcare was under my portfolio in domestic policy. As conservatives, we've long talked about how do we make America healthy again, but very much from a numbers perspective, right? The cost to the healthcare system.
And so now we need to do fat shaming. It's worked for me and Eddie.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Apparently it worked for somebody in the comments too.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Josh, I was a fat kid, picked on, says Josh, and made fun of. What changed was eating at my grandmother's house and when my parents were struggling to afford food.
Yep. Happens.
It does happen. Hey, let's go to Dick Brubaker, who's on line one. Hey, how are you doing, sir?
Good morning on a beautiful day in the capital city.
Gorgeous. It is.
Man, I'm telling you, 75 degrees. I mean, it's just a beautiful day. Hey, you guys are looking for something to talk about?
Yeah, what you got?
3 days left in this legislative session. Is that right?
I believe so.
Guys, I don't know what's happened to Republicans, but if the way we've been governed over the last 3 years, I'm telling you, working people don't have a chance in Alabama. And this legislature beats anything I've ever seen.
I agree 100%.
I mean, we've got an education budget that's pushing $12 billion when you count everything. I mean, just look at the supplemental they just passed. $12 billion. And this legislature just put the tax back on overtime pay, the state tax, because it took a little money from the education budget. I mean, you guys are conservatives. Is that $200 million in that tax break? Is that $200 million better off in the hands of state bureaucrats or in the hands of the families that earned it?
The families that earned it.
And
all
some
day,
of the
every
hardest
day.
working people in the state.
Yep.
And what kills me about it is, in the same breath, while they're killing the overtime tax exemption, they're giving the AA not only a giant pay raise, but paternity leave. That these same people working overtime, they're going to pay for that pay raise and they're going to pay for that overtime leave.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Paternity leave. And these are Republicans.
Yeah, and my op-ed coming out tomorrow, I might read it here in a second, is I think the desire for safety, and I mean that in the broadest sense of the term, it could be defending your reputation as an elected politician. It could mean taking care of a certain favored constituency or interest group, or it could be like stuff that's common sense. Safety isn't bad if you're thinking about crime or some other basic protections. But that is much more what drives and explains behavior over there on Goat Hill than the desire for liberty. And especially, I've been trying to be a little more reasonable this session. And the more I watch it and get to know it, it drives me up a wall what actually motivates and the incentive structure over there.
Well, and not only that, I mean, while our budgets are record levels, the idea of giving even a thin dime back to the taxpayers is treated with contempt by those guys. They say, well, we might not always have all this money. Well, so what? Who cares? I mean, let families keep their money. And this love affair between the Republican supermajority and the Alabama Education Association, it just beats everything I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I think they're also worried about the Choose Act being so popular. They're worried about it. They're worried that they're going to have to split the baby, so to speak, that actually let's put more money into the Choose Act because more people are choosing it, and we don't want to have to pull from, say, traditional public education.
Why not?
Right.
Why not? It's a failed institution.
There you go.
So we've got a bunch of Republicans claiming to care about regular Alabamians when all they really care about, if you look at their votes, is protecting institutions and the status quo.
Yep.
Whether it's the way they spend the gas tax money or whether it's teacher pay raises and getting rid of a tax break for working people in order to pay for paternity leave for public school teachers. I mean, this has just gotten so out of hand. And you know what their latest thing is they're telling constituents? They complain about it, is that when they come back next time, they're going to get rid of the state income tax. Does anybody believe that this bunch is going to do that?
No, not this bunch.
No.
I mean, I don't know what the solution is, but these guys, when they run for re-election, are going to talk about how conservative they are and how much they love President Trump and go right back to overfunding the worst public school system in the country.
Well, and this is what I've been saying with all the rumors of Governor Tuberville, of Coach actually running for governor in the state, is, Coach, if you're going to do it big and bold and actually push some of what we're talking about. I worry he might take his great name and well-deserved name ID and just put a stamp on what has been normal practices. I'd like to see a governor that could actually, at least through the bully pulpit and being popular with the people, drive some real change here.
Yep.
I'm telling you, if anybody can do it, it's Tommy Tuberville.
You're here.
If anybody can do it, because he certainly hasn't just put his stamp on business as usual in Washington.
True.
And I think the best thing that could happen to Alabama is 2 terms of Tuberville at the state capitol. I think that's about the only hope we have left.
Well, we shall see. Well, I appreciate the call, Dick.
Hey, thanks for taking it, guys.
Hey, man.
And that's Dick Brubaker. Always great hearing from him. 272-9228. Let's go to Bill. Hey, Bill, how you doing?
It was good to hear from Mr. Brubaker. I have not heard from him much lately. But I am going to correct him in something.
Oh, no.
They are not Republicans. They are rhinos.
True.
Republicans in name only.
Correct.
And we need to be making a list of them. And if they're in our voting district, guess who we don't need to support? Because, truthfully, you're better off to just go ahead and pick a bigger fool, because you can always get rid of him next time. But some of these guys that have been in office for eons and think they own the office need to be shown the door.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's not been the worst session in the world, but it's certainly been safe. Put it that way.
Well, what have they done? They've given $12 billion and flushed it down the toilet. Because in 4 years, the kids in the state will be no smarter than they are today. And the money will be spent, and we'll be looking at each other going, what's next? But y'all were talking about how people have become obese.
Yes.
And I'm going to challenge you to do something.
All right.
Nearly every local school has a library. And inside that library are albums.
Okay.
School albums. Go back to the library, look at the school album, flip back through the years, and see when it started. Because, you know, the public schools used to have the presidential physical. I don't even think they have PE classes anymore, do they?
That's what I was wondering the same thing.
And we had the same thing at Catholic, and we have field day, and
I think I won it every year until like the 7th grade.
Really?
Started going south.
I was good at the 100-yard dash. I always won that.
Well, in the presidential physical fitness awards, you had to do push-ups, you had to do pull-ups, you had to do sit-ups,
because the girls got to
and
do
you
the
had to run shuttles.
Yep, the shuttle. Yep.
The shuttle. No
Well,
thanks.
good for the shuttle.
I
I love
don't
the
like
shuttle.
the shuttle, man.
You had the good old shuttle run.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look back, I'm willing to bet you that in the mid to late 60s, you'll start seeing people, and I'm not talking about little kids because, you know, you can't go by that. But if you look at the middle school and high school kids, I will bet you the middle 60s is when you start seeing some round faces.
Oh, yeah. No, and it follows just like it's habits. Like, I'm sorry. I go in before I go work out this morning to pick up something at the Circle K, just a big old water, and somebody's getting some crispy, crunchy fried chicken at 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
With 2 hot sauce packets. I'm like, and I get it. The vinegar cuts through the fat.
Yeah.
Like, it's tasty. I'm not knocking it there.
Probably fresh, too.
But if you're eating it at 8 in the morning, are you
How do
eating
you
it
know
at,
they weren't a night shifter?
Are you eating it at noon?
How do you know they weren't a night shifter?
Are you eating it at 8 o'clock at night?
If they're going back to work, they might be.
Just saying. These things and these trickle down to the kids and stuff where it's just like, dadgum, man.
If you look at the sugar consumption for the average person by the year and by the decade, it's only going up.
Yeah.
And you know, it's the look at this. My wife has developed gluten intolerance. People lived off bread for thousands of years.
Yeah.
It was a mainstay on every table.
Mm-hmm.
And now 25 to 30% of the population can't eat bread.
It makes me wonder what's going on there. Is it the type of bread we're eating? And
Yeah, what's
It's
changed?
GMO,
Yeah.
genetically modified seed. And they have developed it specifically to where people can't not starve to death in in the event of a catastrophe. What are you gonna do? Right? Eat REMs, ready to eat meals?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I mean, I don't know. There's more there than meets the eye, because when you start playing with Mother Nature, you mess more things up than you fix.
There you go. Well, I appreciate the call, Bill.
Y'all have a great day.
See you, Bill.
Though my favorite episode or my favorite season is a survival show called Alone.
Oh, yeah.
Where they take their own cameras. They had an emergency button. If they're really in trouble, they would have emergency come and help them. But the guy who won, he did like nothing.
Was that like season 3 or 4?
Yeah, where he just laid down all day. He'd forage a little bit for snails and berries
it.
and stuff, and then he'd just lay down.
Hang out.
He didn't even have a big shelter or much anything. Like and he was fine. Whereas everybody's getting all fancy and hunting and fishing and trying to build up a shelter, and he's like, just relax.
Yeah.
Hakuna Matata. No, and you hear those numbers that you heard the Secretary of Agriculture just talk about. Like 75% of kids couldn't pass the basic fitness standards of the
I think they're being nice with the
military.
numbers, yeah.
Now, at this point, if we had to do our own field day, how many push-ups you doing?
Oh, less than 10.
Less than 10?
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's not the world I live in.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, less than 10 is not good.
If someone's got a gun to my head, they're going to make me do push-ups?
Yeah, that's the situation. If you need proper motivation, how many do you think you can get? How many do you think you get?
I would fight him for the gun before I do the first push-up.
So you think you do like 8?
On a good day.
How many pull-ups could you do?
Oh, good Lord. Can I kick my way up? Can I use my flippers?
No kipping.
I'd rather
and none of that like fruity CrossFit stuff.
I'd rather do the hang. I don't know. I again, less than 10. Not the world I live in.
Less than 10? I'm doubting 1.
Yeah, that's less than 10. Last time
pull-ups are a lot harder than push-ups.
Yeah. I mean, I can jump up, grab the bar, and put my chin over it that first time. That's the one.
Now, it's been a while since I've sprinted, like full-out sprint, 40-yard dash sort of thing. I don't know. I was never that fast. I think the lowest I got was around 5. Like, I was never really,
Yeah, that's my younger days. Yeah, I used to get the
I was faster
award.
on the 100 than I was on the 40-yard.
Now me and Donald would go enjoy McDonald's together. Where used to when I was a kid, I got the award from him. Now we just go have some McDonald's.
Right. So you're not, you think fitness is for the kids.
No,
but like tricks. But the tricks is all for you, and you don't have to work out at all.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Last time I go to annual physical every year. Nothing.
No, and with all the talk these days of like regulating things for people's health and keeping people safe, I believe the government, I'm a libertarian, so I don't really believe this, but if we're going to play this game, the government should be able to regulate you for your own good, for your own health, especially the health of your children.
Yeah.
I think the government needs to put a lot of Alabamians on a diet. And, you don't have to micromanage it.
No, dude.
You really don't. Like, that would mean more bureaucracy.
And I'm not. You can be as fat as you want.
No, but it would mean more bureaucracy. It would mean if you try to micromanage it, give everybody a nutritionist or something. No. You don't do that. What you do is it's a fat tax. You have to report. You get your BMI, and if it's over a certain percentage of BMI, your tax percentage goes up. We're going to tax you for being fat.
You're going to listen to the government, the same people that put out the food chart for how long, and then every 10 years
I'm not
they go,
asking
it
them.
was wrong again.
I'm not asking them to. I'm keeping it quick and simple. I'm not asking the government to tell people how to live and how to eat. I'm just saying if you're a certain level of fat, we're going to tax you a certain level more.
I don't agree with that. The fatness doesn't discriminate.
What do you mean freedom? Like, what do you live in some perfect utopian world?
If you can afford it and it doesn't bother me, do it. I don't care. I don't care.
You're such a libertarian.
Not at all.
I'm just saying, if we're going to do things to protect people for their own safety, their own good, especially the health and well-being of their children, we need to start taxing fat people.
Do you still carry a mask in your car?
No. Not at all. I guess some of the headbands I wear when I work out, I can pull over my face, and it's like, got the face diaper. Do you still see people with the mask?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, sometimes I do.
Sometimes I do, but I will say this. I have a much better attitude about it now. Now I say, just tell myself, maybe they have a reason.
There's this one younger chick who I can tell even behind the mask is a beautiful young woman. She's always got a mask and rubber gloves on, but she's the cashier at Walgreens. So I'm like, I can see that.
Yeah.
You're being hyperactive because
that
you're
also
seeing a
tells
lot of
me-
sick people coming in
That
there. I'm
also
sure.
tells me, though, she's one of the people that worry about that kind of thing, which is fine.
She'd probably agree with the fat tax.
Probably.
Anyway, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And, well, if you're looking for basic pest control needs as well as coverage of termites
or the skeeter services.
Oh,
they came out this
mosquitoes.
morning,
Ooh.
sent me a text this morning. Eddie, we're going up to take care of the skeeters. Got another text back, Eddie, you got no skeeters.
And that's impressive because you're up on the lake.
Yeah. Not only on the lake, this particular Airbnb is in the woods as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So this should be mosquito heaven.
It would be.
And what they do
My
gets rid
neighbors
of
have it. I don't.
That's amazing. And so if you're tired of spraying yourself to try to go enjoy your backyard or front porch or lighting up the candles that don't work, and, you know, it might not get in your face because the smoke's there, but they get that sweet meat on the ankle. Ooh, that's no fun. And you're in the middle of some deep conversation or reminiscing about old memories of family, and all of a sudden you're just itching your ankle. That's no fun.
No, it's no fun. And then you pick them later on.
And these things are vectors for disease as well.
Yes, they
You
are.
always got to keep in mind.
Chikungunya.
So if you're looking to not get chikungunya, or if you just don't want to be bothered by mosquitoes while you're enjoying your property, call up Pest Pro Services today. That number 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com to learn more, or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro, Pest Pro Services, and be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. At PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Want to grab lunch?
I can't. Gotta pick up my dry cleaning or I won't have anything to wear to work tomorrow.
There's never enough time. That's why I switched to Worth Cleaner's new 24/7 Express kiosk on Vaughan Road. I can drop off and pick up my laundry and dry cleaning anytime I want, day or night.
Wow, Worth Cleaners sounds like the solution.
Worth Cleaners is excited to announce their 24/7 Express kiosk. This is the first service of its kind in Montgomery and will allow customers to drop off and pick up their dry cleaning and laundry at their convenience, day or night, any day of the year. Even if you've never used Worth Cleaners before, you can go into their location at 7825 Vaughan Road today and use their 24/7 Express kiosk. Instructions along with several descriptive photos are posted on the wall to aid customers who are first-time users. Visit our Vaughan Road location or find Worth Cleaners on Facebook for more information. Your family's clothing is worth it.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Here at Adams Drugs, we let our customers do the talking. I'm here with Ronnie Taunton, who was a longtime customer of Adams Drugs, moved away for 3 years, and came back to town recently. Ronnie, what did you do for another pharmacy when you moved out of town?
When we moved to Fairhope, we were looking for a local. We did not want to go to a big box store. And we did find one, but the service was not up to par. Adams Drug really spoiled us.
What was it like to come back to Adams Drugs again?
It was very easy. We picked up the phone when we got back, came up to Prattville and called the branch there in Prattville, and they took that phone call and did the rest of it. We didn't have to do a thing. It was very simple. We're glad to be back with them. They're so efficient and customer service oriented.
Come in to any of our 12 Adams Drugs locations. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net to find the location nearest you. Adams Drugs is your independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where over-the-road dump truck drivers are needed right now. Home twice a week and every weekend, must leave early on Sunday with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call them now at 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. It's a great start to the new week. Lots of sunshine today with a high temperature up to about 77. Mostly clear skies. Another very chilly night tonight. Overnight low temperature in the lower 50s by dawn. I think Tuesday's a great day with mostly sunny skies, high around 81. Showers and thunderstorms holding off till sometime Tuesday night. Then periods of showers and storms becoming likely at times Wednesday night, and Thursday. Highs right around 80. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
ASE's 25 and 25 has you covered. For just $25 in closing costs, you can tap into your home's equity. No hidden fees, no headaches, just extra cash. Visit your local ASE Credit Union branch today. Federally insured by NCUA. NMLS 420259. Terms apply.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your cause, your ASE.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. Eddie over there bopping his head to this bop music. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. By the way, we should this week have Senator Britt on Wednesday.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to definitely be asking her about that. I'll ask it in a more diplomatic way. He's bringing your new drone. Oh, wait. Are you part of that stat of front-running the tariffs that went against our GDP numbers?
No, I bought mine from Amazon.
Oh, yeah, that works.
I put a middleman in there to make you feel better.
Goodness gracious. Let's go to Papa B. Hey, Papa B, how you doing?
Hey, guys. You know, it just kind of dawned on me that there's no point in talking to any of the state people about doing anything about education. There certainly isn't any reason to talk to Meemaw, because she ain't going to do jack squat. But there are at least two people that we can and probably should talk to, and that is Tommy Tuberville and Katie Britt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talk to them about national stuff, but in all honesty, they're the ones that should be getting on top of this too. Because, hey, this is the people that vote for them. And so maybe they can get somebody's attention. You know, maybe they can snatch the knot out of somebody's rope in the state house.
I think you got
that kind of strategy.
You got a point, but having gotten to know these folks, unless it's something like, for instance, Katie lives here in Montgomery, local crime is probably a concern. I've asked her about that. But yeah. I'd imagine whether it's Tuberville or Britt or anybody who's kind of a senator on the federal level, they might be a little annoyed at being asked to stick their nose into state politics for all sorts of reasons. It would have to rise to a level of like there's something of a crisis, like and it's sort of a respect
like
of like
Montgomery's in right now.
Well, yeah, but I guess who's defining the crisis? But if you're a senator, it's maybe not wise to try to act like governor. I'll put it that way, unless you're actually running for governor. Maybe Tuberville be receptive.
Well, I don't know what he can do either, even if he's governor, other than, you know, get behind his bully pulpit. But I'm telling you what, the whole idea that the people that are going to reward AEA and keep propping AEA up are Republicans is an outrage.
Yep.
That group of folks was so beat up a few years ago that we didn't even have to worry about them anymore.
Right.
And the Republicans propped them back up.
But Papa B, why do you hate the kids? Because his money's for the kids.
That's right, for the children.
I know it.
But you laugh. That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to go to some rural county. Some guy thinks he's standing on principle to the point you're just making. And they tell his local community of a few thousand, this guy just hates the kids. And it's hard to live that down. That's how they play dirty.
Well, of course. Well, there are ways, and, we got to support. I mean, the people that might be vulnerable like that, they need the support. They need the, strong voices coming behind them and saying, look, these folks are lying to you, and you know it. Your schools are worthless. Pointing that kind of thing out. I mean, there are ways to do this, but it's going to take effort. I mean, I'm not above, like when Trump came to town. You know what? He asked the crowd, "What do y'all want?" We want a widened I-65. Dadgummit. Can't you think of something else besides widening I-65? He's asking you what he's going to do, and you're saying widen I-65. There's a million other things that we could do besides that, But no, we got to widen I-65. Well, that's great.
Well, and, I'm thinking this through. If we actually really did want to get rid of the income tax, I think my fat tax idea is the way to go. You could raise a lot of money on a fat tax.
So as fatties who just move out.
Well, maybe you might lose some weight getting there.
You know what? I'll tell y'all something. This is just. I'm going to just abbreviate this as much as possible. Okay. But the great engine of the economy is demand. Okay. That's what drives an economy, and that demand is made up of, three things: human want, human need, and human desire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Democrats have taken out the need part. They don't want to have the need part. But if a man is hungry, he's going to work, But if he's not hungry, he's less inclined to work, because so you decapitate at least 25, maybe 30% of why anybody wants to be motivated to begin with. When you take away that part of it, well, I don't want anybody to go hungry.
Right.
But at the same time, our compassion kills us. It, you can't go that way too far. So, that's the thing. You're ruining the demand side of the equation, to begin with when you start dealing with that. Okay. Anyway, my economic lesson for today, folks.
Well,
y'all have a good one.
Appreciate it, Papa B.
See you, Papa B.
As part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting, and there at River Region Contracting, Todd Clark and the team there are ready to help you with that roof of yours.
Yeah, man.
Could be you have a asphalt shingle roof or metal roof. Either needs to be inspected on a regular basis.
Certainly does.
That could be every few years, or we've been suggesting, haven't we, Eddie, the annual basis.
I would
do it every year.
I do. I don't just give that advice, Joey. I take that advice.
Well, and what's great with River Region Contracting, because you're like, I'm not made of money over here,
right,
guys, is their inspections are always free. So if you're getting inspected on an annual basis, do it every year. The inspection's free. And then if they do find a problem, it means they're going to find it early.
That's right.
And they'll write up an estimate for free on how to fix it. And their insurance specialist, so they can walk you through that insurance claims process. Now, if you don't have homeowners insurance, that's a whole other question. But most of you do who have a home.
Yeah.
And the roof is like one of the biggest parts of your home.
Big part, big investment. Yep.
So why not get on top of problems before they ever really start to cause a big costly issue? That's River Region Contracting. Call them up today at 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. Now, you've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, What are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
This is James Jones with Jones Drugs. We've got locations in Prattville, Millbrook, Greenville, and Montgomery, and soon to be Phoenix City. My dad told me once if I wanted the whole world to know anything, to tell my aunt. Well, I don't have my aunt here, but I've got the next best thing, Blue Water Broadcasting. They have helped us grow the Jones Drug family in this area for over 10 years. Thank you, Blue Water.
Our advertisers are our biggest advocates. Call us to find out how radio can increase your bottom line. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
For reliable electrical services in Central Alabama, trust the experts at Crosby Electric. Crosby's licensed and insured electricians are ready to tackle any project for your home, from troubleshooting, repairs, to installing new lighting and preventive maintenance. And Crosby understands the need for quality service for small business. Crosby is big enough for the largest job, yet small enough to bring real value. Visit CrosbyElectric.com to schedule your service. Crosby, powering Central Alabama with excellence.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Austin Baranko with Invista Advisors. Hey, Austin, how you doing today?
Hey, having a great Monday, Joey. How about you and Eddie?
Oh, we're doing all right. We're trying to figure out how to solve all these fat kid problems, all these just obesity issues going on out there. I came up with the fat tax. You get your BMI studied, and there's a tax level. It's probably really illegal and breaks all sorts of good libertarian principles. Anyway, I'm looking at the economy now, and it really is. It seems the case being made by Bessent and so many others is right along what you and the team there at Invista have been talking about at the beginning of this year, that it's sort of an effort to re-privatize the economy, and it looks like we're going in the right direction.
Yeah, generally speaking, we've had a nice recovery over the last 10 business days. I have watched Bessent's recent media talks, and one thing that surprised me is he did use the word stimulus. But the surprising part wasn't that he mentioned stimulus. We've been calling that eventually this will end in some type of stimulus package, but he's claiming that, renewing kind of the tax cuts that Trump had implemented years ago, renewing those would be a form of stimulus in itself. And the market's been a little volatile today. The Dow was up a little bit last time I checked, and then the other two major indices down. And my thoughts are the market's trying to digest, is this the type of stimulus that it wants? And there's not really certainty right now. When I expected stimulus, I expected it in the form of printing money or cutting interest rates. And so since it doesn't seem like either of those, was coming out of Bessent's mouth today, the market is still uncertain. But certainly over the last, call it 2-3 weeks, the market has had a nice little recovery from its lows, and we're going to continue to keep an eye on it to see how things pan out.
Indeed. And folks, if you're looking not only for, say, investment advice, and folks that are always watching, say, the markets, but if you're looking for a across-the-board holistic financial plan for your future, and especially to take care of the people that you love that are relying on you, Invista Advisors can do just that. It's really a team approach, right?
Yep, that's right. We have a solid team comprised of many financial professionals, CPAs, and we always lead with planning. So any type of financial scenario you find yourself in where you need a professional of any type, reach out to us, and we are happy to put a plan in place for you and your family.
And that number, folks, is 387-0094. Again, that's 387-0094. And be sure to say, hey, I heard Austin Baranko on the radio with Joey Clark and want to see what y'all can do for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Joey.
Thank you, Austin. Again, that's Austin Baranko with Invista Advisors.
The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The opinions expressed in this material do not necessarily reflect the views of LPL Financial. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice is offered through Invista Advisors, registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
Let's go to Duke. Hey, Duke, how you doing?
How's it going, Mr. Joey, Mr. Eddie?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
How y'all been holding it in the road?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep
yeah.
it between
I'm
the
good.
ditches.
I'm good.
Okay. But I'm sitting there listening. First of all, Dick Brubaker, that was a great call, my friend. Great call.
Yes, it was.
I enjoyed that because he calling out the hypocrites. Sound like he calling out the hypocrites we got out here.
Yep.
And can I add on to the hypocrites?
Sure, please.
A few years ago, as a vice president female who happened to be a colored woman, she tried to make the kids healthier and everything, and had all kind of ideas about vegetables and trying to teach some of the kids how to plant gardens or something like that, wasn't it?
You said vice president, or do you mean first lady?
First lady, yeah. Let me get it right. Let me get it right. Yeah. Help me out.
What, you really expect fat kids to work in a garden?
That's what I'm saying. Didn't Michelle Obama try to encourage the kids to eat healthy back in the day? Didn't that happen? And these hypocrites that want the kids healthy all of a sudden now want the kids healthy now. All of a sudden. So help me out, y'all. Come on.
I don't remember all of it, but I wasn't there. I mean, but I just remember the kids complaining about eating crap or food that they just weren't going to eat.
Carrots and stuff like that. Rabbit food.
But now I don't know. Maybe they took away their chips and they made them eat some celery. And if that's the case, tough crap. But I know there's definitely a tie-in with big soda, big food on the schools program.
And like a first lady program is an initiative, which they all do them, and like good for you.
Well, Nancy Reagan was awesome.
Yeah, wonderful. Really worked. But it's more like you got to go into the nuts and bolts to say the farm bill and look at what's eligible.
See where the money's going. Just see where the money's going.
I don't think Michelle Obama's Let's Move initiative was a bad idea necessarily. It was just
but my
not
point
enough.
is, Joey. But my point is, these Republicans that all of a sudden, since Trump got back in the White House and old boy got in there.
Dude, that's not hypocrisy.
We got to make America healthy
Dude,
again.
that's not hypocrisy. That's how politics works. Both sides do it. They're both full of crap.
That's a very good point there, buddy.
They're not hypocrites. They just want their team to win.
Just like the overtime deal, just like no tax on overtime. Yep. If the Republicans would have had this deal, they'd have signed into law already. In other words.
Well, and they did agree to it all those years ago, or 17 months ago. They agreed to it, and now it's it's too much. That's ridiculous.
We'd rather build this brand new prison out here and naming after Governor Ivor or somebody like that. I don't know.
Exactly.
Think she's drunk today?
But
Day doesn't end why.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, Drinko de Mayo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, old Dick got it right. They said these jokers on the sideline, boy. That's the reason I don't vote for people with that. They say they vote for people because they're businessmen and they got money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what did common sense have to go along with that, though?
It's always a good question. And you're right. The partisan politics on the national level is a real thing. It's a little different here because it really is a one-party state. Yeah. It's a Republican supermajority. So you got a lot of folks pretending to be conservative Republicans right down the middle, and they're
just not.
And their concerns are over different things. We'll continue to get into that here in the last week. I just want it to end. I want the legislative session to end now.
Now, Joey, I thought they had fixed the school situation. Now, I thought, everybody's going to be smart and everything.
They claim the reading test scores are up or whatever, and the school choice thing they did was incredibly popular.
Yeah.
More people signed up than they thought would. So that shows a sign that there are a lot of people that want a different option.
Now, 2 years from now, I won't hear no live about, we still in number. What we in education right now?
51st.
Nah, we're like in the 30s.
We still 50-something. 5 years later, we're going to have to let the state take back over again. Oh, okay. They said Georgia already.
I could not tell you that wouldn't happen. Alabama's full of, hey, we screwed it up. Let's try it again.
If it was up to me, I would abolish all this, but I ain't getting elected. Saying stuff like that, certainly.
You can't tell truth.
Plus, I'm telling people their kids are fat, that they're fat. Like it's not
everybody wants to hear those hard truths, Joe.
Just look in the mirror.
So what? That's why most people don't have them in their house, or they're from waist up.
Look in the pool.
Let me tell y'all something about these fat kids.
Okay, real quick.
Parents are responsible for that. Reason be, okay, they give these kids these devices called a cell phone, put them in the hand.
Mm-hmm.
When last time you seen a kid in the summertime riding pulling a lawnmower behind his bike?
Right.
I agree, but dude,
when last time you seen that Christmas time kids outside playing with cars, riding bicycles?
You're
all
right.
down the
yeah, but
street
how many
and
parents
all
are willing
that?
to let their kids go out there and do
Well,
that anymore?
I see a few kids like that in County Downs,
see a
much to
very
their
few.
credit, and
Yeah.
it's great, but not as much as you once did.
You got the cake laying next to you, sitting next to you on the table. You got the sodas on that side, and you're on the phone playing the games, video games. You got to move. You know, you getting exercise with your fingers. They got fat fingers now. Their fingers.
I know, which means more Cheeto dust.
That's right.
More surface area to stick to. Right.
I'm going, y'all.
See you, dude.
We'll be right back.
All right.
What's
your suggestion? How do we fix it?
The fat tax.
Good Lord.
Actually, more information, and don't do these big subsidies.
Wait a minute. You just sounded so political. Well, we need more studies,
No,
more information.
No, I said more information straight up, like fat shaming. Like you're fat and it's not good for you. You're going to die early and your kid's going to get all sorts of metabolic diseases
yeah, but
early.
when you hear
Stop
that for
it.
so long, it just doesn't really work anymore.
No, and then the second part that I guess is political, but that's the nature of the process, is stop it in the farm bill subsidizing all these big soda snack companies.
Or let's tax the fudge round even more.
Nah, I think you need to just directly tax the fat. That's just me. See, like a couple of years ago, I would have had to pay a big old tax, but I put in some work.
Was this your big plan the whole time?
Yep.
Was this your
I
big
knew
plan?
it was coming. I knew it was coming. I was trying to get ahead.
You do plan. I'll give you
I was
that.
trying to get ahead. I've got the Promethean foresight over here. I saw the fat tax coming a mile away.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Israel has approved plans to capture the entire Gaza Strip and to stay in Palestinian territory for an unspecified amount of time. It's the first time a missile has struck Ben Gurion International Airport since the war in Gaza began. It struck near the airport's access road. Israel is vowing to respond. About 3,000 labor union members have gone on strike at jet engine maker Pratt & Whitney in Connecticut as negotiations over wages, retirement benefits, and job security broke down. The Federal Reserve will likely keep its key short-term interest rate unchanged when it meets this Wednesday. That's despite harsh criticism from President Trump and his demand that the Fed reduce borrowing costs. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 30 points, the Nasdaq losing 58. This is SRN News.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free, no-risk consultation. 800-292-7875. 800-292-7875. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. 800-292-7875.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by MPM Feed and Seed. It's time to get those gardens ready. From seeds to plants to fertilizer, MPM has what you need. Shop MPM Feed and Seed in Prattville, 1313 Highway 31 North. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturdays, 8 to 1.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. It's a great start to the new week. Lots of sunshine today with a high temperature up to about 77. Mostly clear skies. Another very chilly night tonight. Overnight low temperature in the lower 50s by dawn. I think Tuesday's a great day with mostly sunny skies, high around 81. Showers and thunderstorms holding off till sometime Tuesday night. Then periods of showers and storms becoming likely at times Wednesday night, and Thursday. Highs right around 80. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has digital banking solutions to help you keep up. Check balances, pay bills, and much more. Learn more at cbsbank.com. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for information. Member FDIC.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. A father and son have been arrested in connection to a fatal Sunday morning shooting in Montgomery. The men are accused of the murder of 36-year-old Jamal Jackson, who was shot and killed near Highland Avenue and Hall Street around 4 a.m. 37-year-old Curtis London Sr. and 19-year-old Curtis London Jr. are charged with capital murder in the case. Montgomery police have identified the victim of a deadly Thursday night shooting. Officers responded to the 900 block of West-South Boulevard where 18-year-old Jaden Lewis was found shot and taken to a local hospital where he later died. No arrests have been made. The circumstances surrounding the shooting remain under investigation. Hyundai celebrated 2 decades in Montgomery on Saturday. Employees were treated to an evening of festivities to celebrate 20 years since the first car rolled off the line. The Montgomery Hyundai plant employs over 4,000 people and has produced over 6 million cars since the plant opened. Montgomery Hyundai accounts for about 2% of Alabama's entire annual GDP. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Since 1966, Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches has been more than just a place to stay. It's been a place to belong. For children facing hardships through no fault of their own, our ranches provide more than shelter. We offer a warm home, a loving family, and a future filled with hope. With open arms, we welcome these young hearts, giving them the love, structure, and guidance they need to heal, grow, and thrive in a warm Christian environment. Together, we can give Alabama's children the chance they deserve, a chance to dream, to succeed, and to feel truly cherished. Every donation stays within Alabama, directly impacting the lives of the children who need it most. Join us in making a difference. Visit alabamasheriffsyouthranches.org. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and download our app from your app store. We'd be honored to have you as a part of our mission to lift up Alabama's youth. And remember this, it's easier to build boys and girls than to repair men and women.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Back to the program. Yeah, I was just talking to Eddie off air about his diet. He was saying he's on a seafood diet. He sees food and he eats it.
Not as much as I used to. For whatever reason, I think when I hit 50, I started, my appetite changed. Like cereal. I used to literally have enough cereal where we would consume, or I would consume 2 gallons of milk a week.
I haven't eaten cereal since I was a kid.
Yeah. You're missing out.
No, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is all right.
I don't do it much anymore. Oh, no, Captain Crunch. That's what it is.
Captain Crunch is all, but Captain Crunch is that thing that hits your mouth and like the top of your mouth.
It does. Not as bad as grape nuts, though.
No, that's old man food right there.
It's like rocks.
Ugh.
Have some breakfast with rocks.
Yeah, grape nuts ain't no good. But I have to say, Eddie, I want this legislative session here in Alabama to end already.
Yeah.
Well, they got a few days left, a few working days.
Yeah.
Not much more can be done. There's some things in the hopper they might pass.
What do you think they're holding back on? Because you know they're going to pass something last minute so they don't hear any crap from anybody about.
I mean, we'll see. But I would be happy to just go sine die like early.
Oh.
Go back home.
Take the rest of the week off?
Yeah, it's like you think it's that last week of high school and they're like, you know what? Just go home.
Yep.
We don't need
that was the best thing for us to do.
It was awesome.
Yep.
But, watching this session, there's a great old H.L. Mencken line.
Mm-hmm.
The average man doesn't want to be free. He simply wants to be safe.
Yeah.
And so I thought maybe after getting to know Alabama politics for a while that I might find a way to temper my libertarian sensibilities. If only I gave the political scene here in Alabama enough time and all due respect, I thought, then maybe I would learn to find a way to love the politics of my native soil. I was born and raised here. Might as well learn to like it. I was wrong. Completely, spectacularly wrong. If anything, the longer I entertain Alabama politics, the more inflamed and incorrigible my libertarian streak becomes. I even find myself wanting to use the A word.
Ooh.
The A word. Now, don't get me wrong. There are many talented, earnest, intelligent, diligent, charming, and downright wonderful people in Alabama politics. Many good men and women across the spectrum. Yet the more I watch these children of God play their political games this side of Eden, the more I find their government an absolute absurd mockery of the concepts of liberty, self-reliance, and self-government. Does the Alabama legislature occasionally get things right? Yes, of course. Though what they do finally get right is too often a remedy to what they first got wrong, like a man who breaks legs for a living finally going into the crutch business. But very rarely do these remedies result from a genuine or principled desire for liberty. Liberty carries little currency in the Alabama legislature. Why? Because liberty carries little sway with almost all systems of government ever devised by man. The coin of the realm in politics, from Montgomery to Washington to Timbuktu, is ultimately the desire for safety. Governments aren't created to make men free, but to make men feel safe, even from themselves at the expense of their own freedom. This desire for safety manifests itself in many forms, some more obvious and commonsensical than others. Crime, for instance, will always be an obvious issue because most people would understandably like to be safe from murder, assault, rape, robbery, fraud, etc. Even libertarians desire the basic safety of law and order, as libertarians see the only proper function of the law is to protect persons and property against force and fraud. From this basic starting point, the competing desires for safety and liberty agree, but they soon diverge. Soon, the desire for safety begins to regard liberty as a danger to be suppressed, shackled, and overcome. One can imagine an endless list of concerns from which to make people feel safe, but men especially wish to be made safe from the unregulated liberty of other men. Thus, protecting the general welfare of society can mean almost anything under the sun, requiring laws that necessarily violate individual rights for the sake of collective safety. That's when the desire for safety runs amok, when the people's liberties are treated like special favors in law rather than protected by law as birthrights. That's when the government starts picking winners and losers in almost every aspect of life, creating powerful incumbent interests that are inevitably treated more equal than others. Liberty is then reduced to the counterfeit freedom of the ballot box. As the average man is told he is free, not because he is free from government molestation of his person and property, but because he has a vote to choose between this or that politician to run said government to keep safe his presumed noble interests from the presumed wicked interest of other men. Such a vote for safety from other men's whims can, of course, mean a vote for almost anything in practice, for health, for religion, for education, for efficiency, for jobs, for the children. But all come back to the desire to feel safe. As for the politicians who run for office and win, they also aren't immune from this overriding desire for safety, as safety can simply mean defending one's reputation and status. Given office holders are theoretically beholden to the voters, but more practically are beholden to their donors who provide the funds to propagandize and manipulate the voters, most political office holders are as nervous as a strumpet at a Sunday morning church service. This desire for safety compels most office holders to go along to get along out of fear of being left out in the cold by their colleagues, donors, and ultimately the voters. Obedience, not freedom, is the legislator's virtue. Those who wish to command must first learn to obey. For those office holders who do command leadership positions, the desire for safety manifests itself in a sort of management of competing favors and interests that errs on the side of caution rather than visionary risk-taking. Most political leaders would rather take the slow and steady safe way while selling it as courageous and bold to the voters than take any actual risk only to fail and look bad. Though it may seem abstract, the desire for safety explains much of the behavior of the Alabama legislature in this session, as well as sessions past and future. Do they get some things right? Yes. Fear and the desire for safety is a powerful motivator to do some good things, though sadly it can also lead to some wretched things done at other people's involuntary expense. Indeed, the longer I've tried to give Alabama politics a chance, the more it reminds my libertarian sensibilities that most of what passes for courageous self-government is actually the clamoring of fearful men swift to make a safe space from the supposed dangers of liberty. My vote is to abolish the Alabama legislature. Of course, I know that won't happen. So at least I can look forward to this latest legislative session finally coming to an end. 3 days. We got 3 days. Get out of town. Just do it or leave early. Y'all are children of God. Y'all are wonderful people. It's just when you all get together, it's gross. And, they do some basic stuff that's like, yeah, that's great. You know what I mean? Like, it's just common sense. Like,
yeah,
should nursing mothers be forced into jury duty?
No.
Right. Common sense. But this is what I mean. It's like, why was that necessary?
Should I be forced into jury duty?
Well, you are a citizen, right?
I don't ever get picked. All you got to do is open your mouth and they're like,
yeah,
oh,
true.
You're out.
Well, last time I got a grand jury summons. It was like one of those big fancy federal things. And I filled it out truthfully. Like, here's the websites I read. And I listed all this anarchist literature and stuff about jury nullification. And they called me back the next day that you do not have to come in, sir.
The last one I had was going to get chosen for jury in Wetumpka. And I knew both attorneys. So I was struck immediately. And I knew the science behind what they were talking about. They were like, that guy's out.
Right.
Like, come on. But what really cracked me up, side note, when we got jury duty, and even for a day, they give you, I think, $30 or something like that. They asked us not to cash the check. It's like, this is more your civic duty. You're going to get a check, but how about not cashing it? I didn't take that very well.
No, and how much was it? 1 month?
That's like $30 or whatever it was, but still.
How much does it take to process a check?
Honestly, they could have just given me a card. I'd have been fine, but I was offended that, hey, we forced you to do this by threat. So here's your little bit of chump change. But by the way, do us a favor. Don't really cash that. Let the city go.
No, and essentially, I think the mentality down there is everything's fine. Like, generally speaking, life's good.
Dude, if you watch the news, everything's fine.
Everything's fine. We just need to tweak this, that, or the other, and not rock the boat too much.
I know this. When I hear regular news, and then I see like Facebook's Hood News, Montgomery Hood News, Uncut, and all that.
Oh my!
There's a lot of things that are just not reported.
But you also got to say there's a lot of stupid people. In that group.
Oh yeah, by the thousands.
Right.
100. But
you're right. There's a lot of stuff that goes unreported.
Yeah, like last night the girl was in a club and it was clearly machine gun fire going on.
Oh my God.
Clearly.
And that's what drives me up a wall is like how much all this money we spend, is on education for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, 12 billion of the 14 billion or so is going into the education trust fund. Whereas we're spending 2 billion on things that if you're going to have a government or any government, any governance, any system, I don't care if it's a democracy or a republic or a dictator, whatever. If you actually want a good society that is good for your people, you need basic things like, justice.
Yep.
Like defense against murderers and people that will rob you and assault you and do all sorts of ungodly things or defraud you. Like that's the basic stuff you need. Like if you take care of that, a lot of other stuff takes care of itself.
I agree, but we got away from the basics a long time ago. I
think we take them for granted. No, I think we do take them for granted. Compared to like we talked about El Salvador before Bekele gets in there and with his iron fist.
Right.
Look at Haiti. Look at a lot of parts of the Middle East. Like I think we take for granted a lot of how the proclivity to war and just outright just awful things going on can occur. Whereas here, even if you do say have gang trouble and skid rows in every city, it's compartmentalized. You'd be like, oh yeah, that place in Seattle, they took over it. It was the Chaz or the Chop or whatever. That was just like a stupid thing the hippies were doing while the rest of us are drinking coffee and eating hot dogs.
But when that happened, that was unique. But now that's just spreading. I mean, I'll never forget one of the sheriff's deputies in California during the O.J. Simpson riot. He finally had enough. It's about 3 years ago. We met him. He said they just left. They packed the car and left. He said it took them 20 minutes just to quit. So they quit seeing the homeless campers and tents along the interstate. 20 minutes of driving.
Right.
He loves Montgomery, though.
Well, and like, I'm not saying I have all the answers. It's just, it's frustrating when you get to know a little bit of the process that like all these high ideals they spout at you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, God, family, country, and all this stuff. Often that's not the main motivation of what's going on there.
Those are
9 times out of 10. Sometimes,
hypocrites.
again, there's something that captures everybody's heart and imagination. Like, okay, that's a good thing. We can do the good thing.
Yeah.
Fair enough. We can work some stuff on the margins that improve life a little bit. Cool. But in terms of like the stuff that drives all the donor money and drives the real big political fights, we're nowhere close to that.
No.
And unfortunately, that's the system we got.
Yep.
I'm not saying there are other systems of government that are necessarily better. I really do believe at this point, you could have tyranny or freedom in pretty much any system.
Oh, there's no doubt. No doubt. But let me ask you this. If we lived in a world where you had, like, say, this city had a strong man and everything was okay, would you vote him out? Like, say the trash gets picked up. Say everything, everything for the most part is happy. I don't understand why we can't have that. And to me, that
Chicago had Mayor Daley for how long?
Yeah, I just don't understand how we don't have that. And nothing against the current mayor. I can't think of a mayor in the past that's been just pro people.
Yeah.
They're just so involved in the day-to-day crap of the city. Have a bigger outlook for the people that actually do something. The ones that contribute, not just the ones that call the police all the damn time.
And it's a big lift. I mean, there are a lot of folks it's easy for me sitting here in Montgomery that went to 12 years of private education, a Catholic private education. So I'm like not only in a private system, I'm also inculcated away from the dominant culture around here. I really am.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, yeah, I lived in that world. It's possible. It really is possible. Like you can have all these little private communities that have their communities. They look out for each other. They do very well. They're not perfect by any means, but they do well. And I think sometimes the mentality is like, no, we need the state to come in and help us on all this stuff.
Always the worst.
And I'm like, well, how's it working out for you?
Never good.
And there are, of course, always trade-offs to certain things. Always trade-offs. It's interesting how, for instance, the conversation over Alabama being America's dumping ground went away. And of course, it got a lot of headlines after 2018 and the poop train thing. But I did a deep dive into it. And you get a lot of posturing like we want environmental justice and we want racial justice because a lot of these places are in the Black Belt and all these other areas. Then you look at a map and you're like, and this is the argument the EPA and ADEM has made. It's like, no, well, we got these plants in black areas and white areas. When you look at these rural counties, their argument is like, well, we bring in a lot of money.
Gotta have the money.
And it's not like you can build a lot of stuff on this soil.
Yep.
And like in the rest of the nation that might wag their finger at Alabama, I think Alabama's got 171 like landfills essentially. Some are specializing in hazardous waste and like 40-something% of the nation's hazardous waste goes into that one. But Alabama has 171 landfills. New York State, which includes New York City, like 50. California, like 50. Talking about very big populous states. Where are they sending their stuff? Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, all these things have trade-offs. You might be like, well, that's so bad, and look at this area. And it's like...
New York used to send barge loads of garbage. I can't think who used to get it, but for years, New York, California, there's barge loads. They couldn't process their own garbage. Somehow, Alabama got on the, hey, we can do it cheaper, and we started getting it. But you would see those barges
we have
go out.
very low fees, and No,
so
and
it can
also,
be
you
fixed.
have a lot of land that isn't developed.
Yeah, but
Well,
we
can
got
do
good
that.
land. We've got good
We've
land.
got good land, too. But no, the argument they make is in a lot of these places, you can't do big development. Like, it's not good to build there. And it's like, well, what do you do with it?
Well,
And you
just-
continue to farm it, of course. But
Just dump the crap in there.
Right. But it's interesting how Alabama is providing a much needed service to the entire nation, and everybody turns around and shames us because this is just another example of y'all discriminate, not caring about people.
see.
And it's like, really? That's interesting. Then you're going to still
Keep
send
your
us all
garbage.
your
Yeah.
excrement?
Keep your garbage in.
All right. It's fascinating how that works out. We got a lot of beautiful things in this state. Don't
We
get me
do.
wrong. We got a lot of great people, but sometimes I think our political culture lacks the vigor and the vision.
The vision, Joe.
That really could tap into the talent and the beautiful things we have.
Alabama, just natural resource wise, we've got everything anybody could ever want, from mountains to rivers all the way to the beaches. But we have very short-sighted politicians. They don't have a vision. They have a vision of how I can get my family taken care of the rest of my natural life. They don't have a vision of how I can make Alabama better.
Well, for instance, think about this. We got all this land we're talking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Trump wants to create a plan that brings Bitcoin mining in particular to happen in the United States. So much so he's going to allow them, at least from a federal sense, you can build your own power plant and even connect it to the grid to just power your mining operations. How do you think this state will like that?
No.
Yet we got all this land.
Right.
It would be a great place to attract it. It would bring
all kinds of hydroelectrical issues or availability here. Yeah.
Could also bring in a beautiful, steady revenue stream. Like the state could get their piece of that mining operation without having to tax it really much at all.
There's your issue.
Still, no, it could still be incredibly low. Like property tax, you got to pay property taxes. Like, so it's just, even we have lowest in the country, right?
Yeah, we do. But
if you have these big operations, it's just, there's so many little things that could happen. And I think what happens right now in Alabama, at least at the political level, is we pick and choose.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of go after this one, go after that one.
Why is that?
Whereas I would why not create a across the board incentive that gets everybody's attention, and then you go do the extra to attract people? We'll see. 27292.
To me, we don't do the minimal to attract people. Especially anything south of Birmingham. We don't have it.
Oh, you're right. All
It's
the
a gold
people and
mine,
money
but
is Birmingham North.
Yep.
Yeah. Especially Hunt Vegas.
Yeah.
Dadgum.
Even the weather goes around Montgomery.
I've noticed that. I kind of like that bubble, though.
I don't like it when it's opportunity that goes around Montgomery.
And there is some stuff that's developing around, you notice the city limits, like right around the city limits, but we'll see.
You see two big things we got going on here on Carmichael.
No, and I'm going to telegraph, I think when we have the mayor on this month, I want to talk about all the investment. Like, how are we primed for success going forward? And I want to talk about education, especially what he thinks about what the county school board's doing.
Oh, that's right.
Then I'm just talk to him straight up. Here's the criticism from police, like former law enforcement, other folks that are, here's the conversation. How do you respond to it? To people's criticism of your leadership. Pretty simple, straightforward conversation. Because if we're primed for success, and yet education and basic, say, protection against crime are not there, you're not going to get as much as you might hope. You might still get that meta facility and all that, but it's not going to create the spinoff that you would have hoped for. If you don't secure the damn place. Pardon me. You don't provide education options. You know, people that have come from other parts of the world and the country go, what the heck is this? Because they will think that, and rightfully so. Oh, but look at all the money we put into the bureaucracy. And, you know, that's the amount of money you spend on something doesn't mean it's necessarily
right.
good. Anyway, got to hit a quick break. Oh, looks like all lines are
Yeah,
ready.
we're going to take some calls.
Y'all stay tuned.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV. It's time to show Mom how much you appreciate her with a Jenny Lynn's floral creation for Mother's Day. Skip the grocery store flowers and make one quick call. 285-1000. Roses, lilies, beautiful bouquets, and gift baskets designed just for Mom. Call Jenny Lynn's Creations, 285-1000.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me. When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. You're thinking of selling your home. Here are several ways to improve the look of your home and possibly the value. Number one, improve the curb appeal with trim bushes and cut the grass. Repaint the exterior where needed, and if needed, paint your front door. Number two, declutter the inside of the home by removing items that are not needed off countertops, dressers, and the den. Three, paint walls and trim where needed with a fresh coat of paint in a light color that will show off your home. Four, clean your oven and microwave inside and out, make it shine. Number five, professionally clean carpets or shine the wood floors with a polish or Bona. Six, clean out all closets or unwanted clothes, shoes, belts, hats, and donate them to a local charity. Finish any leftover repairs now, doorknobs, light bulbs, and closet doors. For a complete list and an in-person evaluation and consultation, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Hi, I'm Allison Chandley, Account Executive with Blue Water Broadcasting. Why should you advertise with us? Did you know that more Americans listen to the radio than use Facebook each week? Did you know that 77% of listeners would try a brand or product endorsed by their favorite radio personality? Contact me, Allison Chandley, by going to bluewaterbroadcasting.com to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where over-the-road dump truck drivers are needed right now. Home twice a week and every weekend, must leave early on Sunday with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call them now at 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. It's a great start to the new week. Lots of sunshine today with a high temperature up to about 77. Mostly clear skies. Another very chilly night tonight. Overnight low temperature in the lower 50s by dawn. I think Tuesday's a great day with mostly sunny skies, high around 81. Showers and thunderstorms holding off till sometime Tuesday night. Then periods of showers and storms becoming likely at times Wednesday night, and Thursday. Highs right around 80. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More is your low price leader for everything you need for flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies. For the best prices on luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, flooring installation supplies, and more, shop Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Delray to Publix.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Mark.
Welcome back. How you doing?
Cold?
It is cold in here.
Hang meat in this place, man.
We're live from the ice box.
Yeah.
Let's go right to the phones and talk to Troy. Hey, Troy, how you doing?
What's up, Troy?
Happy Monday, fellas.
Happy Monday, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, just real fast, I wanted to hit on a couple things. I hope you all having a great week ahead, and wanted to just share with you that I ran into the mayor at the Rotary Low Country Boil that did, and I went up to him and I had a chat with him. I said, well, we really missed you the other day on Joey's show, and know there's a scheduling conflict, and he was very apologetic and said he'll be on soon. So
good deal.
I thought you would appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. No, I look forward to having him on.
Yeah, and then real fast, back on what you guys were talking about with our natural resources and the blessings that God has given us in this state. One of the things that's concerning is the lack of strategic. Okay, so we want to walk. That's all well and good, but this is the only state in the union that has everything.
Hey, Troy.
Troy, you're breaking up.
Yep.
Right.
From start to finish to manufacture, and the zinc and the potassium. We have all sorts of resources here, and I just don't see a lot of forward thinking on how to exploit those and bring those in and help the people of Alabama.
You broke up some, and you were talking about the sort of natural resources that are crucial to, say, industrial process.
Yeah, one of the things that I don't know if I cut out, but the fact that we can make steel in this state from start to finish without any other imports of it, the necessary items, is fascinating if you think about it. And then it's just, I see a lack of vision out of our leadership and on both sides of the aisle on how to move forward with the great natural resources this state has that can be exploited.
Yeah, especially for the factories of the future. Well, I appreciate it, Troy.
Thank you, Troy.
All right, y'all have a good one.
See you, brother.
He's right, and I will say, we got a heck of a concrete business here in the state.
Yeah?
Yeah, we make a lot of concrete.
Yeah, I know. I dumped a bunch of it in Wetumpka right down the middle of the damn highway. Come get it whenever you're ready.
But that wasn't the city, that was the state, right? No, I'm just asking.
The mayor should have put up a better fight.
Sure. I'm just saying, I think it's because of all of our limestone. Like, we are a concrete powerhouse. Like, we produce a lot of that stuff.
We got the good stuff.
Though I still isn't it amazing we still don't know how to recreate what the Romans did?
Dude.
Isn't it, like, it really is crazy.
It is crazy. As a kid, I was there.
Yeah.
And never really, caught to how crazy that is. But when you can see the streets that were built that long ago,
like, what were they
and
doing?
They're in better shape than the street I'm living on.
Like, what are they doing?
Right.
Like like those aqueducts, for instance. Like, that's
one of the craziest was there was one particular set of steps going down into a bathroom, and you could really see the last step of the groove of everybody's foot, how it just wore over the thousands of years.
Crazy. Let's go to Dr. Stuart Tankersley. Hey, Doc.
Hey, guys. All sounding good.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking my call. That's hard to follow up, hard to beat what Troy and Dick Brubaker said last hour. But I tell you, it is amazing the lack of leadership. And I'm so looking forward to hopefully Tuberville leading us with what it should look like. Look, here are our priorities. This is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it. It's not a hard concept. But we have these big mules that run everything and there's no accountability among them. Number one of which is Alabama Department of Public Health. I mean, public health, what a misnomer. The thing, I don't know if y'all saw, I've heard y'all talk about a couple of points that RFK Jr. made on the 100-day cabinet meeting. But I don't know if you heard the most important thing he said, or y'all discussed it yet, which is HHS is no longer going to be the primary vector for trafficking children.
Yep.
We did. We played that, I think, on Friday, and that's an incredible thing for him to say. And I don't think people realize how much HHS was involved with this whole influx of 2 million migrants, 2 million immigrants, and a lot of those being kids that we haven't been able to keep track of.
Well, they haven't wanted to,
right?
Because they're trafficking. AP says it's 450,000, not 300,000.
Wow.
But what kind of culture allows these yahoos to remain in charge, especially when they revealed who they are during COVID?
Yeah.
And I tell you, leadership is going, whoever wins, it's kind of like after Trump won in 2016, it was so easy for him to succeed because there was so much low-hanging fruit from the prior 8 years. But the next guy that walks in, hopefully Tuberville walks in, it's going to look like a whole new day because there's going to be so much low-hanging fruit, but there just needs to be accountability.
Well, and I keep believing that the best way to truly doge the state, and this is a big lift, you'd have to get a lot of buy-in behind the scenes before you pushed it too much publicly. I would unify the budgets and use that unification of the budgets as a vehicle to examine every little nook and cranny of our government.
Yeah.
Sure. And there's, like Troy said, there's so much opportunity in our state. The natural gifts the Lord's given us is amazing, unlike any other. And and the other thing that we're going to stop doing is poisoning these kids in schools so they can learn how to think. And that's going to hopefully yield results in the next 10 years. But public health is a disaster. It is shameful. And I'm sure books are going to be written about it in the coming years. We're going to shake our head at, because almost everything they do is shameful.
Well, and I really was looking into the whole, just for fun, a fat tax idea. And, obviously it's tongue in cheek, but I got the numbers from Alabama Department of Health, and they said only about 39% of people are medically obese. I'm like, well, what's if you add overweight and obese? That just seemed like a low number when the national average of overweight and obese is 70%.
Just looking out the window.
I think that 5 years ago or more, I read where we were 41% obese. Adults in America or in Alabama are obese. But if you add overweight, and to your fat tax idea, in the military, we would have ways that if a guy was real fit and, overweight or technically considered, or the scale said he was obese, you could tape them. And, but that's not the majority of people that have the problem. And the sad reality is that the government has been poisoning us with 10,000 chemicals, and Europe only allows 400. Right. It's going to radically change. And RFK Jr. has over 80% approval rate in what he's seeking to do.
Good.
And we need to hitch our wagon to that star and refocus on health, and then everything's going to get every metric can improve. But what we're poisoning our kids with and the adults with is just shameful.
It really is. And when you look at like testosterone levels in young men, well, no wonder a lot of young men get fat. They might not even be eating that bad, but if you have low testosterone, that's going to destroy a lot of things, including your metabolism. So it's, and it probably is, to your point, it's like all this stuff that's been allowed by the FDA for years is definitely, I'm just happy they're now studying it. They're actually getting to the bottom of it. And whereas before it seemed like the biggest food companies were providing most of the research dollars to major universities. It's like, it's crazy.
And then they paid FDA to get what they wanted.
Yeah. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
But it's a new day, and I'm so optimistic. Now we got to get the Congress to codify these executive actions, and then we're going to be in a much better position. But if y'all hadn't listened to it last week, Tucker interviewed Catherine Fitz.
Yep.
And she reminded me that the day before 9/11, Rumsfeld, who was a businessman, came in and said, after 6 months of evaluating, it looks like $2.6 trillion in the DOD budget is unaccounted for.
Yep. Exactly right.
Unbelievable. Well, people like Fauci, they need to be on the public square and hung, but after a fair trial, of course. But this is there's a new opportunity ahead for us if we can stop the government from poisoning us and treating us like adults rather than their servants. It's really, by the way, as a last note, last September, in August, Forbes every year does a review of the 50 best places to work in a state. And number 3 best place to be an employee in the state of Alabama last year was the Alabama Department of Public Health.
I believe it.
It's insane. Yeah. Well, thank you again, guys. Y'all do a great job.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Doc.
And Stuart Tankersley, always great hearing from him. And, speaking of the whole health issue, one thing with men's health can be that low testosterone problem. Now, it happens naturally. As you get older, you're not going to produce as much testosterone, especially as you get in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. It's different for each individual, but If you're feeling kind of run down and tired, lacking motivation, like you're falling asleep early in the day, maybe you're not sleeping well at all. You lay down for 8 hours and you feel exhausted when you wake up in the morning. Of course, if you start seeing weight gain, especially around the middle, that's the hardest to get off. That fat right there around the
Belly
tire
fat.
around you. Or you're seeing loss of muscle mass and just general overall strength and the feeling of life force, energy, including a decrease in your libido, that sex drive of yours. It can all point to low testosterone. So why not stop by Montgomery Men's Health? And the providers there will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And they have low T treatments there at Montgomery Men's Health, including treatments that will make you feel better the very same day.
Nice.
But after treatment, men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym, better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, and usually even notice an increased libido. And you can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
If your decision for new floors is based on brands and selection, wanting perfect and professional installation, or the kind of customer service that doesn't even exist at big box stores, obviously you gotta shop Prattville Carpet. But if you're looking for the lowest price, in that case, it's still Prattville Carpet. Because during their summer sale going on now, you can get tile, luxury vinyl plank, and carpet, all for just $1.39 a square foot.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Call us today for your free measurement. Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. What a day, what a day, what a lovely day. One of those days where you just want to go walk outside and whistle while you work or something like that. And I believe joining us on the line now, we have Michael Cohn with Cohn's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great.
You enjoying you at least sneaking outside a little bit? It's a beautiful day outside.
It is beautiful. And Sunday was beautiful, too.
Yeah.
Yes, most of Saturday.
Yeah, there's a little bit of rain here and there, but it didn't get me down. Now, what's the score there today at Cohen?
Score today is 21-0.
Woo, nice.
I had a couple of guys come in looking for a sound bar for the new TV, and I guess they've been all over town looking for it. And anyway, the catch was they wanted to buy from us, and then they wanted us to install the TV that they just got. So we were happy to do that. And Michael Jackson had some appointment changes, so he was able to get right out there and get this new TV and the sound bar. They bought 2 subwoofers and some nice rear speakers made by Sonos, all for one room. So he should be getting pretty close to through with that. Anyway, I'm sure it sounds great.
Oh, yeah. And I love the new audio options. I'm still kind of in the world, everything being wired and some old school receiver, but one of these days before too long, I got to upgrade to the newer, fancier options that they got.
Definitely.
Like I know it's, especially with the new movies, the new 4K, you got to have the sound experience along with it.
That's right. That's right. I mean, half of getting high def or 4K is clearly just the picture. But the rest of it is the sound. And the sound is what, to me, makes it so much more enveloping for you to watch a movie or a sporting event or even the news. You just have things that happen all around the room.
Well, and I like
in the middle of the action.
I like to feel the woofer.
Well, we have plenty of woofers you can come by and feel.
You heard it here first, folks.
He had permission.
Of course, you can always go to thinkcohens.com, but it's hard to get that feel on the
fondle
website.
our woofers all the time.
But get by there. They're 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And find Michael and be like, hey, I heard you on that radio show with Joey and Eddie.
That's right, and it's not often Eddie's there, but the stars are all aligned.
That's right.
And bonus points
Gotta
if
be
you ask
happy when
the
you can have him.
yeah. Bonus points if you ask to feel the woofers.
That's
Have
right.
permission.
Permission, yeah.
Yep, you and Joe Biden. Come on.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank y'all.
See you, buddy.
Again, that's Michael Cohen with Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Let's go to Charles the First. Hey, Charles.
Hey, Troy. Hey, Eddie. How y'all doing?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I don't know if I ever told you, but I'm standing on my storm shelter up here in North Alabama. I have a 35-foot waterfall that's natural, comes from the spring, that I can almost see from where I'm standing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I told the Alabama Unfiltered staff they ought to come and see it sometime. Of course, I just live in a humble kind of place, but it's the families, for generations. What I was going to say, though, you're talking about the end of the session for the legislature, and I need to create them, and I really can do this, Joy. I can create them an app that takes care of their procedural and wording mistakes. Now, let's remember those throughout the years here. May instead of shall for Birmingham Southern. Remember that?
Oh, goodness.
Okay, now let's not forget the procedural problem of sending the wrong fentanyl bill to the governor's office to get the dealers and give them 20 years. Do you remember that one? Now, let's not forget the miswording. They could have worded the marijuana bill where it would not have went through court.
Yeah.
Have you got me?
Sure could have.
Sure.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I'm just waiting to see what they've, done wrong. I could create an app that catches all that. You see what I'm saying? Put each bill in, and it will tell you, do you want to say shall instead of may? Is this the correct bill to send over? Because that's just stupidity and loss of money. And another one I want to mention is the redistricting to help one of your political buddies out that caused us to lose a conservative district. You remember that one?
No, goodness.
Yeah. I mean, this is ridiculous. And of course, now the $50 million bond that we will be paying for 30 years if they use it. I mean, they need my app real bad. I mean, just blunders like that. I mean, somebody should be up there in a secretarial position just going over what they've done and pointing things out. I mean, they look like they've had the education of last year in Alabama as their history of education. You got me? Number 51. But anyway, that was what I wanted to kind of sound off about there. Great show. Loved hearing from Troy and Dr. Tankersley, and appreciate y'all being on the air. Love to hear you.
Thank you, Charles. Great hearing from you. 272-9228. Hey, this whole hour?
Yeah.
Brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage.
Oh.
And they do good work there.
Yes,
Kim
they
and
do
Madeline.
very good work.
Of course, Madeline Cannon stops by on occasion. We all keep missing each other.
Yeah. Shame.
It's a shame.
She coming in tomorrow?
I don't know. I don't. Actually, yeah, I think she is. I just looked at the calendar. LASIK's still working.
Of course she is.
Oh, yeah, you're not going to be here.
I might be a little late. I'm still going to try to be here. Just got to act like
Okay, I'm just saying. I hate that y'all keep missing each
I know.
other.
I adore her.
Well, and not only are y'all friends at this point, because she really is great.
She's a great business partner for me.
Yes, they do such wonderful work.
They do.
They're solid. They're consistent.
Yep.
There's a gold standard when it comes to helping you out with mortgages here in the River region.
Yes, sir.
It's not just here. What is it? Florida, Georgia, Tennessee now?
That's exactly
They're
right.
licensed to
So say
help
you're going
you
to
out with
buy.
mortgage?
Say you're going to buy a mountain home or a beach home, or you got some friends that are living up there. Refer them to Madeline.
They can help you with all of that there. And of course, that means buying a home.
Yep.
From pre-approval all the way to closing day. They can help you with that whole process.
Yep.
Or if you're looking to refinance for all sorts of reasons, it could be debt problem, especially credit card debt. Could be you're retired and you're tired of your monthly overhead being what it is.
Yeah.
You want to save some money.
Yep.
On a monthly basis. They can help you with that. Maybe you want to reinvest in your property, reinvest in the family yourself. It's money you built up in your home. You can use it to meet your goals. And they can help you meet those goals there at Alabama Home Mortgage. And especially if you're a veteran, they specialize in helping out veterans take advantage of the VA home loan programs, these benefits that you veterans earn through your service. So call them up today. Get that conversation rolling at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. I mean, I don't know what we're going to talk about in the final hour. Trump wants to bring back Alcatraz.
I'm down with that.
He also wants to protect Hollywood. He wants movies made in America. And so he is slapped
Yeah.
100% tariff on foreign made
Bollywood
films. Yeah.
Bollywood.
Right.
Do you watch that many Bollywood movies?
Actually, no, but Trump called it a national security issue.
Oh, come on.
Well, no, he's like, it's pretty crucial to the messaging and propaganda. It is. Seriously. Seriously, there's all sorts of stuff. Especially
But he's cutting NPR, Joey.
Oh, that's good too.
I love that.
So we could get into those things.
Oh, also, over the weekend, I don't know if you saw it, but that $4 million Lamborghini boat, did you see it sink?
No.
It was full of, what do they call influencers? So I watched many clips, and finally last night, somebody made a good one on TikTok. The whole time the boat was sinking, all these influencers are taking selfies.
Oh, my God.
You would not, they had no idea that the boat was literally sinking, I guess.
Did anybody die?
Nobody died, but
They're
the
lucky.
Coast Guard at the end, the last 4 or 5 girls that got off, they just had thongs on. And so the Coast Guard guy, he was very helpful with those ones.
All right, well, the other one, I got to get a good grip on you. You're slippery as a dolphin here, woman.
I'm telling you, that's how it went. But I couldn't believe the boat literally at this point was 20% underwater. And those girls are still up on the front taking selfies. They're still doing a fashion shoot. Yeah.
To be young and hot and female.
They were hot. It was like,
yeah, but it comes with its
80-something
own problems,
degrees.
especially down the road.
Oh, you ain't kidding there.
Anyway, and I mean not like psychological scarring.
The Quasies.
Anyway, final hour coming up.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Police in Texas say at least one person was killed. 14 people were shot at a party in southeast Houston. Police detained multiple people, but were not immediately certain if they had the shooting suspect in custody. President Trump says he's directing his government to reopen and expand Alcatraz, a notorious former prison on a California island that has been closed for more than 60 years and at one time housed very famous criminals. The 2027 NFL Draft is heading to the nation's capital. Washington hosting the draft 2 years from now is the latest off-field victory for the Commanders a week since they reached an agreement with the D.C. government to build a new stadium on the old RFK site that's still pending council approval. The Dow up 105 points, the NASDAQ losing 34. This is SRN News.
Financing a home, especially in today's market, is one of the biggest decisions you'll make for your family. Work with a mortgage company that puts you first. I do. Work with a lender founded on biblical principles like do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. I do. It's Mike Gallagher for the only mortgage company I've used for almost a decade now when financing or refinancing Fellowship Home Loans. I'm friends with the owners, Mike and Brian. I even have them on my show occasionally. I know the care their team puts into every single customer. I can personally tell you that it's a smooth, stress-free process. And that's due to Fellowship's level of service and expertise that puts you in the right loan for your family and your goals. There's a reason Fellowship Home Loans is flooded with 5-star reviews. Whether purchasing a home or a cash-out refi to consolidate some higher interest debt, you can trust Fellowship Home Loans. Start the process. Make the call. 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where over-the-road dump truck drivers are needed right now. Home twice a week and every weekend, must leave early on Sunday with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call them now at 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. It's a great start to the new week. Lots of sunshine today with a high temperature up to about 77. Mostly clear skies. Another very chilly night tonight. Overnight low temperature in the lower 50s by dawn. I think Tuesday's a great day with mostly sunny skies, high around 81. Showers and thunderstorms holding off till sometime Tuesday night. Then periods of showers and storms becoming likely at times Wednesday night, and Thursday. Highs right around 80. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
ASE's 25 and 25 has you covered. For just $25 in closing costs, you can tap into your home's equity. No hidden fees, no headaches, just extra cash. Visit your local ASE Credit Union branch today. Federally insured by NCUA. NMLS 420259. Terms apply.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your cause, your ASE.
1819 News.
U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville is reintroducing a bill that he co-sponsored with Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley. That bill is the Understanding the True Cost of College Act. It would standardize the terms used to describe financial aid for students and would create a universal financial aid offer form. The bill is being offered after the Government Accountability Office found that 90% of college financial aid offer letters understated the price that students would ultimately pay for these loans. Senator Tuberville says more and more young people are finding themselves buried in student loan debt, and this bill will help them decide if college is the way to go and what financial assistance is best for them to do so. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Did you know that 70% of people experience a potentially traumatic event in their lifetime, and that 6 out of every 100 adults face PTSD every day? Help us bring hope to these survivors by signing up for your Alabama Distinctive PTSD Awareness license plate today. The great thing is you can sign up no matter when your current plate renews, and the first year is complimentary. All you need is your VIN number on hand. Drive awareness, drive hope, and customize your plate today at atease.org.
A former employee at Huntsville City Schools has been sentenced to prison for having sex with a student. Dwayne Yarbrough entered a guilty plea to the charges and was then sentenced to 10 years. Yarbrough was working as the JROTC instructor at Lee and Century High Schools starting from 2016 to October 2022. Authorities in Arizona have found a missing 13-year-old girl who was reported gone from her home in Albertville just last week. The missing girl was found with 32-year-old Raul Arellano Romero after his vehicle was pulled over in Navajo County on April 30th. The 13-year-old was found hiding under blankets in that car. Both have now been taken into custody by the Navajo County Sheriff's deputies and will be returned to the state of Alabama. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Attention business owners. Did you know that about 90% of employees and customers are unhappy when they walk into a dirty building? Let Janny King, the king of clean, keep your business pristine. Janny King's local franchise owners can handle your cleaning needs with reliable, hands-on cleaning solutions that deliver more than just a clean space. Janny King comes with regional support, which ensures consistency and quality, allowing you to focus on all the other needs of your business. Go to JannyKingCleans.com.
Janny King, the king of clean.
When you need a new door or window replaced, you want it done right. Someone who delivers expert craftsmanship every time, experience is a must. Listen, Davis Door and Sash. They can show you new doors and windows that can help you lower your utility bills and boost energy efficiency. Davis Door and Sash, Alabama.com or call 334-288-6010. Davis Door and Sash, the perfect fit for your home.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
We live in the Southeast. We drink sweet tea. We don't drink socialist Kool-Aid.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. So Trump wants to bring back Alcatraz. He also wants to bring back Hollywood, make America's in America for Americans again. Push American values.
You can't make American movies elsewhere?
Yes, you could.
I hope so.
I mean, and some foreign films really aren't great.
What? Slumdog Millionaire.
That one's all right. I'm thinking of classics. Like, I think, isn't like Fistful of Dollars and Good, the Bad, and the Ugly?
Those are Italian spaghetti. Yeah, spaghetti westerns.
Amazing movies.
Yeah,
Tarantino stole so much from them.
At the time, I don't think he got any kind of thing. That's why he went and did them. But looking back, yeah, they were great.
Yeah. So, I mean, but Trump's got a point about all this. We also have Marjorie Taylor Greene speaking up for the base. You know, the bad butch body, bad woman as Jasmine Crockett.
You'd let her put you in a headlock, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I would. I wouldn't fight it. I mean, there'd be a certain point where I'd be like, stop, please. I can't breathe. Not trying to.
That's just checking.
All right. But, you know, if she was like, you rascal, come here, I'd be like, oh, no. And started doing, what's the thing where you like rub your fist with
right, noogie.
Yeah. Congresswoman, stop it. You stop that right now. Trump is mulling over Stephen Miller as national security advisor. I don't know. That's a true loyalist. Putting him there, I think, would be a power move.
Loyalty thing. Yeah.
Right now, Rubio is wearing that hat.
He's wearing a lot of hats, though.
Yeah. I love, by the way, like not just the Trump Pope memes.
Yes.
Which
those were great.
It just triggers people. I've been using it as a sorting mechanism on Facebook.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Somebody has a nasty reaction to it. And I'm like, I don't even know what this is. Unfriend.
I thought they were hysterical.
Yeah. But have you seen the Rubio Pope ones?
No.
They're like, he's wearing so many hats.
No, but that'd be a good one, too. Would he be the shortest Pope?
No, I think we've had some pretty short popes. You know, the longest conclave, I think, was in like the like 1200s or 1300s, and it took years.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine them sitting there trying to decide for years.
Well, got me thinking now, how long before people get impatient? Like, how long could they go now?
Right. And of course, one of the Trump Pope memes is this is coming soon. It's just a bunch of orange smoke coming out of the smokestack. Yeah, it's coming. I'm like, is this a Bitcoin thing or a Trump thing? Could be either. Could be either. Trump approves new weapon shipments to Ukraine. This is after inking that minerals deal, economic rights deal. So essentially telling the Russians, like, we'll keep supplying stuff.
Yeah.
Y'all make peace. A Patriot air defense system or two is heading to Zelensky in Kyiv.
I just want tracking on all that. I want tracking on every bit of that. Right.
And by the way, speaking of war, Netanyahu announces plan to seize full military control of Gaza.
Oh, yeah, I saw that this morning.
And he promises to conquer Gaza, saying, quote, this will not be a short operation.
Unspecified amount of time.
Well, damn. Also, there's a new study out showing Antarctica, the ice sheet there.
Yeah.
Grows for the first time in decades. I thought it was going to shrink because of the
global warming. Has it not reached there yet? Global warming hasn't reached there yet?
I don't know. Maybe the study, who funded this study? Big oil.
Oh, yeah.
No, seriously, if you believe this stuff, I know some of y'all don't, the From 2 mission that was the all-civilian crew SpaceX sent up there that did the orbit around the poles, over Antarctica, it looks like a different planet, different world. It really is crazy seeing aerial shots of it.
Did they show the green?
Of Antarctica? The green?
They didn't then. Okay, never mind.
What do you mean the green?
The whole green area there.
Oh, there's a secret green area in Antarctica?
Not really a secret. They just keep it from rubes. But
when did you see it?
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it. You just told about it.
I'm not going to admit to
tale of
it.
it. Yeah. Okay.
No, thanks.
No, but amazing images, and you're like, I mean, you look down, you can see the volcanoes and the mountains, but it's just ice. Like
it's almost like you took a camera and you put it inside an old freezer and you took photos and you called it Antarctica.
Though there is a weird treaty with Antarctica of all nations of the world.
A tree?
Like, treaty.
Oh, treaty. Yeah. Yeah. Because
not
they know
to build stuff up there.
Yeah, they all know.
There's something going on
Alien
there that
base.
they ain't talking about.
Yeah.
So if you remember that story we did where the one guy went like crazy.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
what, all heart crazy on you? Like, I'm in love with you. Came on to, like, and it's this remote Antarctic base that
no one can get back to for 11 more months.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
That's easy. You just throw some breadcrumbs outside. When he goes outside, you lock the door.
But here's something I want to jump into the details of, because you asked me this off air. Here is that tall drink of water on Fox News. All the ladies loving Bill Maloogian. There's all that border.
Yeah.
Oh, you disagree with my characterization of
No,
the man?
not
Look
at
at
all.
that guy. That square jaw. That perfectly coiffed hair.
He looks a little Tim Tebow-ish.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see why Americans love him.
So here's Maloogian reporting on DHS to pay immigrants for self-deportation flights. Let's listen in.
Can report exclusively that DHS will announce today that they're going to start paying for the commercial flights of illegal aliens who self-deport from the U.S. And on top of that, they're going to pay them an additional $1,000 stipend once they're confirmed to have left the country. Now, DHS says doing this is going to be significantly cheaper for the American taxpayer.
I'm going to stop it there. $17,000 to detain, and for the government to deport them. Self-deport and stipend, $4,500.
Okay, but if
I'll
I'm an
take that
illegal
deal.
alien,
It's a pretty good deal.
I'm making a better deal.
Oh,
you guys are offering me $2,000 now. Don't cost you over 20. Come on, I'm good for about 8 or 9, right?
I
Come
think,
on.
I think this is a take it or leave it sort of thing.
They tell us that right now it costs on average about $17,000
ridiculous,
to arrest, detain, and deport someone. They say paying for self-deportations and the stipend will only cost about $4,500 per person. That's about 70% cheaper. Aliens are going to have to register to self-deport on the new CBP Home app to access that DHS financial assistance, as well as announce their intent to leave the country. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem tells Fox in part, quote, "If you are here illegally, self-deportation is the best, safest, and most cost-effective way to leave the United States to avoid arrest." In the meantime, here in the sanctuary city of Los Angeles, ICE confirms to Fox News that 3 suspects arrested in connection with the home invasion murder of a man in the Woodland Hills neighborhood last Sunday are all in the U.S. illegally. ICE's acting director, Todd Lyons, tells Fox they are all Georgian nationals, 2 of whom were caught and released at the border after crossing illegally, and the third who overstayed a tourist visa, and listen to this, had 2 previous arrests with ICE detainers on him ignored due to sanctuary policy.
Yeah, you look at the names there. It's Pata with P-A-A-T-A.
They ain't from south of the border, Joey.
Zaza, Z-A-Z-A. And Basiki. Yeah, so you're talking Eastern Europe, like the Balkans.
Yeah, good people.
Georgia, yeah.
Good people.
Or is that more the Caucasus? I think it's the Caucasus.
I would, yeah. Yeah, but these are also, well, never mind. You know,
Sorry, I was just quoting that Cat Williams scene.
You are well aware that these are people that didn't come here that just to see New York.
Yeah, they're not light-skinned, they're rice-skinned. The mountains is Caucasus.
Right.
Right. That's nuts. Like, you do think, oh, it's cartel, or it's like some refugee from Argentina or Venezuela or wherever.
Organized crime, no matter what.
But no, like 3 Georgian nationals?
You don't think they got ties back?
Of course.
Right.
Why else come in illegally?
Remember, how was it 3 or 4 months ago, the Venezuelan traveling gang that were breaking into people's houses and just shipping the stuff back? I'm sure that Venezuelans aren't the only ones that know how to do that.
Now, what do we think of this self-deport thing?
I'm down with it.
We'll pay you to leave. We'll pay for your flight. We'll give you $1,000 stipend once you're actually out of the country.
I don't have an issue with that at all. I think it's a ripoff the other route they were talking about. It's $20,000 to deport somebody, but
because you're talking about having to hold them, having to go through the court process, even if it's a fairly quick court process, like still got to go through all that.
Yeah. Still got to house them. Still gotta
Costs
feed 'em.
money.
And if they want, and I'm sure there's a percentage that are like, you know what, I'm ready to go. I just don't have the wherewithal. I don't have the money.
Yeah.
And a big problem too was what supposedly when we were taking them back across the border, well, we were leaving them penniless and putting them in more harm's way. Well, we're giving them another $1,000.
Well, here's Tom Homan. The borders are speaking to reporters earlier this morning, I believe, about this idea.
Trying to get the message, if you leave on your own, you can take advantage of legal programs, come back. But if we have to go through the process of formally deporting you, there are mandatory bars against you for up to 20 years, sometimes forever. So, if you want to take advantage, come back as a worker, a tourist visa, a visitor's visa, a student visa, or have a U.S. citizen child if you have one, petition for you in the future. Leave yourself open to the opportunity of legal entry. do things the right way. There's millions of people standing in line right now doing things the right way, taking the test, doing the background investigations, paying their fees. They're sitting in the back seat, while millions of people are allowed into this country under the Biden administration that simply don't qualify for asylum. Most of them will lose that asylum claim. So while they're clogging up the whole system, in addition to those who want to come in legally, while the millions of fraudulent asylum claims under Biden administration, there are people in this world who really are escaping fear and persecution from the homeland. But they're sitting in the back seat too, because millions of people cheated the system, coming across the border, and released in the United States, that caused a significant backlog in immigration court. And that wasn't by accident, it's by design. Let's just overwhelm the system. So it takes 5, 7, 9 years to go through the whole process. If they take advantage of the appeals process, they know exactly what they're doing. That's why they weren't in ICE detention. Because in ICE detention, they get a hearing within 35 days. But for release millions of the country, overwhelm the system so they don't get a hearing in 5, 7, 9 years, then maybe there's a Democrat administration in power. Now we can have an amnesty. They know exactly what they're doing. They're playing the long game. But we're going to beat them at it. We're going to ramp up interior enforcement operations and removals. We're going to force the law. We're not going to ignore the law like the prior administration did.
I mean, I think Holman's won in very good standing at this point in the administration. He ain't playing. Like, he's come out, he's twice retired. This is his third time at bat. And
I love him because he's ticked off the right people.
Exactly.
And he holds no apologies.
And then shifting to adjacent to this issue, rebuild and open Alcatraz.
Send him to the Rock.
This is what Trump put out in all caps, that first sentence.
Yep.
For too long, America has been plagued by vicious, violent, and repeat criminal offenders, the dregs of society. It's a good word, dregs, who will never contribute anything other than misery and suffering. This is, again, all Trump's Truth Social post on this. When we were a more serious nation in times past, we did not hesitate to lock up the most dangerous criminals and keep them far away from anyone they could harm. That's the way it's supposed to be. No longer will we tolerate these serial offenders who spread filth, bloodshed, and mayhem on our streets. That is why today I am directing the Bureau of Prisons, together with the Department of Justice, FBI, and Homeland Security, to reopen a substantially enlarged and rebuilt Alcatraz to house America's most ruthless and violent offenders. We will no longer be held hostage to criminals, thugs, and judges that are afraid to do their job and allow us to remove criminals who came into our country illegally. The reopening of Alcatraz, he capitalizes every time he brings it up, will serve as a symbol of law, order, and justice. We will make America great again. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make it great again.
I'm down with it.
And I'm looking at a CNN travel article. It's about a guy in 2023 who was tasked to map the whole property, with 3D imaging and stuff. But there's a little history here. Although best known for its 29 years as a federal penitentiary, the island of Alcatraz was also a military fort used by the Army during the Civil War to protect San Francisco from Confederate raiders.
I remember hearing.
A little over a century later, in 1969, it became the site of a 19-month occupation by indigenous activists in the name of Native American civil rights.
What year was that?
69.
Good year.
It is a good year. Nice. And, of course, it is a classic movie, Escape from Alcatraz.
Several, though. There's been a couple. And think of all the...
Or The Rock.
The Rock, baby. But think
I
of
like that one. Nick Cage.
Yes.
Oh, man, that's a good one.
Think of all the people that have tried that, and I think Mythbusters did it too, where they try to escape from Alcatraz.
It's tough.
Yeah.
No, I think The Rock's my favorite because you've got... One. You do have Sean Connery.
Sean Connery's a good one.
You got Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, it was
at peak Cage. I'm sorry. He's at peak ridiculous Cage.
He was pretty good, but just...
And then, don't you be knocking Nick Cage. He's a national treasure. No pun intended. And then the bad guy, I believe is Ed, what is his name? Ed Helms or Ed's... Hold on.
I got Ed Sheridan stuck in my head. Is it Ed Holmes?
Might be Ed Holmes. I don't know. I'm looking this up. Let's see here. Ed Harris. Excuse me. Okay. Ed Helms is the guy in The Office, the comedian in The Hangover. But Ed Harris, yeah. And that's just a great, I think it's Michael Bay.
I wonder how much money they've got to spend to get it going again. Because that's jobs. That's providing
Probably
jobs and opportunity.
And speaking of movies, Trump also put this out, kind of out of, nobody was expecting this one. The movie industry in America is dying. a very fast death. Other countries are offering all sorts of incentives to draw our filmmakers and studios away from the United States. Hollywood and many other areas within the USA are being devastated. This is a concerted effort by other nations and therefore a national security threat. It is, in addition to everything else, messaging and propaganda. Therefore, I am authorizing the Department of Commerce and the United States Trade Representative to immediately begin the process of instituting a 100% tariff on any and all movies coming into our country that are produced in foreign lands. We want movies made in America again.
There you go.
Now, I think the South's been doing all right in terms of movie making. A lot more in Georgia, Louisiana. And also, don't forget Cat Williams' whole thing where he bought that old military base in Anniston.
Down the road from us here, yeah.
And so you're going to get a lot, and I don't know if that's, some will be movies. It'll be all sorts of productions. But, the South has become a little more attractive for that sort of thing.
A lot more attractive. I remember at Hyundai when we had the Super Bowl commercials. I mean, I thought, man, they're going to have to bring in all this stuff, ignorant me, from California. No, everybody's from Atlanta.
Yeah,
everybody's from, and there's a whole network of, hey, what they know when they're doing things, a whole connected community there. Pretty cool.
So you don't mind Trump saying we want movies made in America?
Yeah, I don't mind. I've seen,
but what movie business?
Bollywood.
No, but I'm not, and also the Chinese market and a lot of.
Yeah, but I don't want to.
But think of everything became the superhero movie. It's Marvel.
Oh yeah.
So what good movies have come out recently? Recently. I guess there are some.
Oof. I don't know. Joey, I don't know. I'm even thinking of the ones I've watched on Netflix.
There was the whole Barbie and Oppenheimer thing, and I didn't think Oppenheimer was all that. It was fine.
I didn't make it.
I know Chris Nolan's coming out with a new movie about Odysseus and the Odyssey, which hopefully won't be but I like the.
What about your Napoleon movie?
Awful. It was terrible. Ridley Scott really screwed the pooch there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember sitting in the theater going, really?
I can't think of the last good movie I saw.
Well, and also, when's the last time the theater was packed?
This how sad it is. I just realized the last movie I went and saw was when Emily had her birthday party in Birmingham. And that's a couple years ago when we went to that theater.
The last time I really remember lines out the door is when I went to the second night. It wasn't opening night. The second night of Black Panther.
I was just thinking something like that.
Out in Chantilly. Yep. And there are a lot of folks, even some folks in African garb.
Pre-COVID though, right?
Yes. And then I remember the theater being packed for Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. Okay. And then Marvel's movies started really, I would go to them and the movies would get less and less packed. Top Gun Maverick got a big showing.
Was it packed though?
The first showing was, but but they're having a lot of trouble getting people to go to the theater because you can get so much great entertainment at home.
Right.
And now you can get massive screens that really don't cost that much in the long scheme of things.
Plus, a lot of people don't like crowded, dark rooms like that.
And you can just pause it whenever you need to go to the bathroom. Or, hey, I need more popcorn or whatever. The RFK Jr. is looking at you through the window going, you shouldn't eat that much popcorn.
He's okay with the popcorn. I think it's the butter, the amount of butter.
The fake butter.
Yeah. Dude, the motor oil?
At least
straight motor oil?
At least put beef tallow on. Actually, have you done that before?
No, I had some beef tallow stuff the other night. It was good.
Seriously, though, try that. If you can get beef tallow at the grocery store.
Yeah.
You can get Wagyu tallow. And instead of butter, do that on the popcorn. It's good.
Still get caught up in your teeth?
Oh, of course. Popcorn does that. I hadn't done that in a while. Anyway, I think Trump trying to bring back movies, make movies great again. It's something.
I think it's also part of his big goal to make America great again. I still don't see even some of the silly things that we see him doing. That's all part of that big package of just making America great again.
Now,
down with it, baby.
Now, you heard Dr. Tankersley mention this former housing official that was on Tucker Carlson's show. It mentioned
many clips of her.
Yeah. Who mentioned Rumsfeld. Her name's Catherine Austin Fitz.
Mm-hmm.
And so where did some of this money go? She's claiming the U.S. government has secretly diverted $21 trillion.
Tunnels.
Let's listen in. This is the clip from Tucker Carlson's show.
But there is a history of near extinction events. And one of the things that I've looked at, because I'm trying to figure out, between fiscal 1998 and fiscal 2015, there were 21 trillion of undocumentable adjustments in the U.S. government. If you go to our website, missingmoney.solera.com, we have years and years of documentation, including the government financials that show this. And so the question is, where's all this money going? And one of the things I've looked at in the process of looking at where all this money is going is the underground base and city infrastructure and transportation system that's been built. And
I'm sorry?
Yes. So we have built an extraordinary number of underground bases and supposedly transportation systems. Some of these are some of these are documented as part of the national security infrastructure. I think there are many more. So
in the United States?
In the United States, on all over the world. But from 2021 to 2023, I took one of the smartest subscribers in the Solera Report network, and he and I spent 2 years collecting all the data and all the allegations on underground bases. And then we systematically went through and tried to estimate our guess. This is totally a guess of how many underground bases, both underground in the United States, but also underground under the ocean around the United States. And our estimate was 170 with a transportation network connecting them.
And what would be the purpose?
The purpose, if you thought you were going to get a near extinction event, so there, to me, there are two purposes. You have so many activities going on that you need to keep secret, that you're basically building the capacity to, for example, if you're doing a secret space program, you need to platform it from, things that can't be seen. But I think if you're worried about a near extinction event, that's.
Also, if you look at, say, if a real big war does break out, a lot of the operations would be, and a lot of people would have to go underground.
Yep.
Remember that in the Matrix where Morpheus is explaining to Neo once he's out of the Matrix, well, we don't know who struck first, us or the machines, but we do know it was us who scorched the sky.
I saw Theo Vaughn and what's that?
Zuckerberg.
Facebook nerd. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got one under his house.
Yeah. So Theo called him out on it. First, he tried to downplay it. That's a storage room. Da, da, da. And then when he described it, Theo goes, "That sounds like a lot like an underground bunker."
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess it is.
Yeah. Man. And stuff like that, they don't normally tell the general population. It's not that crazy, though.
Well, we lived in Turkey. The only place my dad ever worked that he could never take me to. And it was a mountain. They worked inside of a mountain. That was in the 70s, early 80s. So
it was a mountain.
It was a mountain. It was
in Turkey.
Yeah. Codename Disco.
Codename Disco?
Mm-hmm. So they called it. It was
like disco dancing?
Yeah, it was an acronym for something. Huh. There's a few people that know. In fact, I met someone, Hugh Taylor, used to work for me. He was a missionary. He worked for me at the pizza place. And when I brought that up one time, he's one of the few people that ever looked at me and he said, "What do you know about that?" And we had a great conversation about that place.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, here's Trump being asked after announcing that the NFL draft will be in D.C. That's, Roger Goodell over his right shoulder. To his left as we're looking at it. But Trump took a few questions after this presentation from the media.
Some Catholics were not so happy about the image of you looking like the Pope.
Oh, I see. You mean they can't take a joke? You don't mean the Catholics, you mean the fake news media. Not the Catholics loved it. I had nothing to do with it. Somebody made up a picture of me dressed like the Pope and put it out on the internet.
Is Goodell
It's not me
squirming?
that did it. I have no idea where it came from. Maybe it was AI, but I know nothing about it. I just saw it last evening. Actually, my wife thought it was cute.
Question about it.
I would not be married, though. That would be a lot. To the best of my knowledge, big on getting married, are they? Not that we know of. No. I think it's the fake news media that they're fakers.
If you had the opportunity, if you, for whatever reason, you're in the press pool today, you sneak in, whatever. All right, Joe, they're going to call on you. Are you going to be able to play it cool, calm and collective? Or are you going to, be like, Thank you, Mr. President. I have a question for you. Are you going to him and ha? Are you going to be like, thank you, Donald. I got a quick question for you. You know, blah 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 blah.
I would be like Chris Farley. Remember the interview
That's
show?
how I think I would be.
You remember? You remember the time where it was Cinco de Mayo and you took a picture of yourself in your office in Trump Tower with a taco bowl. Said you love Mexicans.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Exactly.
And by the way, Trump on his
Exactly how I
official
do it.
Twitter just retweeted that photo. Say 9 years ago, wonderful times. Yeah, it was 9 years ago from the infamous taco bowl photo.
How can you not like the guy?
Oh, there are a lot of reasons. There are a lot of people, I don't mind shock you, don't find any of this funny.
I know.
They think he's like Cheeto Mussolini. They think he's the next Hitler.
Liberal white women.
It's not just white women, unfortunately.
What?
Some family members. It's like y'all been caught up in corporate media for too long. You've been working in a different world.
Yeah.
But Trump was in his element. He actually did like an hour plus interview with Krista Welker of Meet the Press.
The dude likes to talk.
Well, he likes the fight. I think he enjoys the fight.
Sparring. Oh, yes, no doubt.
So let me see. Here's one where the sparring really got going. This is early. It actually ended up being an all right interview where they covered a lot of ground on a lot of different topics. But this is one where, Trump is a little more relaxed this term.
Yeah.
But he still can throw some barbs out there. So let's listen in. This was on Meet the Press over the weekend. Asking about prices.
Prices are already going up on some popular items.
Whoa.
Tires, strollers.
This is such a dishonest interview already. Prices are down on groceries. Prices are down for oil. Prices are down for all energy. Prices are down for gasoline. And let me tell you, when you have the big thing, what he did, he spent like a stupid person, which he was, but he spent like a very stupid person. And that was bad for inflation. But what really killed us with inflation was the price of energy.
Yeah, so, he still can be feisty. He can be feisty in a great way. But there's another moment where he calls out Biden. Because that's still, every president does this. You just call out your predecessor. We're only still a month or two in, right? You can still call out your predecessor. Yeah. Well, this is Trump calling out Biden in only a way Trump can do. Let's listen in.
And you know what I can't name? I can't name one Democrat. I look at the Democrats. They're in total disarray. They have a new person named Crockett. I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person. And they said, she's the future of the party. I said, you have to be kidding. I don't know what they're going to do. And I really believe in a two-party system. Because it's good to be challenged. It's really good to have a two-party. It's good. Being challenged is okay. It keeps you sharp. I don't know what they're going to do. They have nobody. Bernie's 87 years old or something. And Biden is the worst thing that ever happened to old people because he was grossly incompetent. And I think maybe for artificial reasons, he had operations and things. So maybe that's an artificial. But I know people that are unbelievably sharp and they're older than 87.
Yeah.
But I watch Bernie Sanders. He's a nut job, but he's still sharp. He's sharp as he's the same guy he was. He hasn't gone down. But Biden is he's the worst thing to happen to old people. And you know what?
As only Trump can say it. 272-9228. We got to hit another break here. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For many years, my team and I have worked diligently to provide our veterans with top-notch service, as it is our honor to serve those who have served us in the armed forces. Madeline and I are certified veteran lending specialists. Nationwide, there are over 22 million veterans that qualify to purchase a home through the VA loan program. Yet less than 2 million of them currently have a VA home loan. Many lenders do not keep up with the ever-changing guidelines and benefits of the VA loan program. They are intimidated by the program, resulting in many veterans not obtaining VA loans. This is unacceptable. The VA home loan program offers service members and veterans with 100% financing. You've already paid your down payment. If you are currently serving serving or have honorably discharged, we would love an opportunity to discuss how the VA program can serve you. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223 or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Thank you for your service. NMLS 1586368, Equal Housing Lender.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Not everyone who handles your personal information is as careful as you are, which might explain why there's a victim of identity theft every 5 seconds in the United States. Fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock will monitor hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity. And if your identity is stolen, a U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code at LifeLock.com. LifeLock, for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Experience the local flavor at Epicure and Jack's Tavern. Their lunch special includes carefully crafted dishes, a drink, and bread for only $9.99 for seniors and $13.99 for others. They prepare every meal from scratch each day using local ingredients. No fast food here, just wholesome, delicious meals made with love. Visit them at Epicure and Jack's Tavern and taste the difference local makes.
It's time to show Mom how much you appreciate her with a Jenny Lynn's floral creation for Mother's Day. Skip the grocery store flowers and make one quick call. 285-1000. Roses, lilies, beautiful bouquets, and gift baskets designed just for Mom. Call Jenny Lynn's Creations, 285-1000.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing.
Hey, this is Robbie Clark. Stay cool with a spring tune-up with Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing. Don't wait. Schedule today. Give us a call at 334-277-2125. Alabama certification number 09098.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We've got another chilly night ahead with mostly clear skies, and the overnight low temperature falls to the lower 50s by dawn. But expect a nice recovery tomorrow with mostly sunny skies up to about 81. Another round of showers and thunderstorms begins on Tuesday night and becomes more likely Wednesday night, and Thursday with rounds of showers and storms. Highest near 80 by Wednesday and Thursday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Just closing out the show here on a beautiful Monday. Keep going here for a second with Trump's long sit down with Kristen Welker of Meet the Press. And here she just asked what it's on a lot of, well, left-wing people and people still hypnotized by corporate media, she's going to ask the question they all care about.
What do you say to those who believe you are taking the country down an authoritarian path?
Well, there you go again. Why don't you ask it a different way? Many people wanted to come into our country. Many people love Trump. I won the election. They didn't win the election. I got a lot more votes than they did. I won the popular vote. I won all 7 swing states by a lot. A lot of people were surprised. I said, I think he could win 4, maybe 5. No, I won all 7, and I won by a lot. And I won, actually, I think there was a lot of hanky-panky going on, but it was too big to rig. That's the good news. It's too big to rig. But let me just say, so when you make these statements about people say this, people, well, you know, they had their chance at the election and they lost big. So you should ask the question differently. You should say, what about the people that want to be in this country? What about the people that love this country?
But what do you say? I'm asking it on behalf of those people to give you a chance to respond to them. What do you say to those people, sir?
Those people are going to be very happy. They're going to have to see some results. And I think we had a great 100 days. There are a lot of people that say it was unprecedented. It was an absolutely unprecedented 100 days. And I hope that they're going to be right.
Well, there you go. And some of those people will never be happy. That's just the nature of the beast at this point in American politics. 272-9228 if you want to join the conversation. Let's go to line 1. You're on the air. Who's this?
This is Dirty Water.
Hey, Dirty Water. How you doing?
Hey, I don't, I don't mean to resurrect a subject you talked about a couple hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in the woods taking my dog for a ride. So I'm back in town now. But you know what? You were talking about EBT and all this stuff.
Yeah, and everybody getting all fat.
Yeah, that's by the 100%. Because check this out. You know that the farmers' curb market in Montgomery downtown.
Mm-hmm.
They won't take EBT.
Right.
But you can go to Food Outlet or Winn-Dixie or Publix and buy all the Zooms and Wham-Whams you want.
Exactly right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, no, and this is why it's a big part of the Farm Bill. A lot of these major food companies, big corporations, they understand it's a billions and billions and billions of dollars of revenue stream essentially subsidized by the government.
Yeah, exactly right. And at the same time, it takes out, you were saying that only, 25% of the youth now can pass the presidential fitness test?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Well, I grew up my formative years I was born in 62, In my formative years, I had to take that test every year.
Yeah, I mean, and I did too. And like in the 90s, I was taking that stuff and we were doing all right. Now, we were doing field day, and then they were also giving us Jolly Ranchers and Surge, soda and stuff. So the bad stuff was already happening. But
back in the 70s, you'd get a fucking, oh, God, I'm sorry.
Okay. Appreciate it, man. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. And we didn't have a delay built. Great job, everybody.
Oh, no.
Great job. Thanks for the call. No, it's fine if I had a delay built, but we didn't have one. So, sorry. Romex Angler says, Joey, I feel honored that my fat shaming made a big impact on you. Don't quit yet. You still have a long way to go. Well, that's sweet of you to say. I hope you keep me accountable, keep my feet to the fire. Because there are some times where I'd like to go back to being chubby. I'm a little chubby still. And then he goes on to say, I hope I misheard earlier, but did you say you can only do one pull-up? You've been working out for years now, so surely I didn't hear correctly. I said it would be difficult for Eddie to do one pull-up. I can do about 10 or 11. That's all right. Something I was trying to accomplish. I really couldn't do one pull-up a few years ago. Now I can do a good bit of them. Oh, well. 272-9228. Hey, Pamela's here early. How are you doing?
I'm good. You got to turn on my mic.
You're good?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Monday.
Indeed, it is Monday. I mean, there's so much going on, but in particular, on top of my mind was like, we're trying to help people who are, yes, way below the poverty line, and yet somehow the help is making everybody fat.
Yeah.
And that's like, I'm not saying you fat shame people to like you're not worth anything at all and no, I'm saying it's not good for you.
Right. You're
It's not just
worth
okay.
More.
Right.
You're worth more.
There you go. You're
That's
worth more
the
than this.
point. Yeah.
Right. Have some dignity.
Yes.
Dadgummit.
See it.
Right.
You're worth the extra money it takes to buy vegetables and
Yes. Well, and
fresh food and stuff that's good for you.
And I think it has a psychological effect. It ends up to
course.
like there is, I can't remember the guy's name. He was some guy who's really fit all the time, and he decided to get like really fat, like over 100 pounds overweight, and then lose it to show. And he realized, oh, like this, if you're in the groove of being fit and working out and watching what you eat, it's easy to lose a few pounds, put on a few, lose a few. But if you get to a point where you're used to a particular habits of the food you eat, you're probably 100 pounds overweight. Losing that is much more of a psychological battle than anything
also
else.
could be that overweight because of psychological things
Yes.
you're going through.
Yes.
Which just
So you
is
come for it.
double the struggle.
Yes. Yeah. Double the
So,
trouble.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can come out of that, you feel like $1 million.
You're going to feel better. It's also going to cost less in the long run when it comes to your medical bills.
Right.
And your food bills.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. I know there is some talk between some people in Congress as well as Secretary Kennedy, and we got the clip from Secretary Rollins, Agriculture Secretary, talking about, hey, maybe we shouldn't be subsidizing the worst stuff ever, even though it tastes really, really good.
No.
And it's highly palatable. It really is highly palatable. Like, here's what I mean. Try to eat 400 calories of grilled chicken breast.
I know. Every day.
Yeah, and you're
Like-
not. It's kind of like, ugh.
That's the thing, is when you're sticking to what works to lose weight, you have to do it over and over and over again, and you get tired of it.
Where like those little chocolate cakes you brought in from Fresh Market the other
Right.
day. I could eat that whole thing, probably 1,500 calories just
And
within a few
there's-
minutes.
And there's a huge table of everything like it. A lot
All
of
over the place.
variety.
All over the
yeah.
place. Yeah. And also you get a taste for stuff. Like if you do start eating healthier, some of the stuff you used to eat, it's like stinks. It doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
Like foreign folks who try American food are like, oh, like it's what you get used to.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of just at least taking this seriously, make it a priority. Of course, it's a free country. You can do what you want, I suppose. But when you're also getting fat on Uncle Sam's dime, on the people's cheese, so to speak, then maybe certain questions should be asked on what we're incentivizing, what we're subsidizing. Doesn't mean people micromanaging your life and your nutrition. I did think, if we're going to do this whole thing, if the government needs to protect you from everything, like all these vices out there, what about a fat tax? We'll do it based on BMI.
Oh, God.
And so like it'll be a sliding scale, and depending on how overweight you are, it's not just the number, it's not just the weight. We got to factor in like your body type and and just your height and all this other stuff. Like we'll do it on BMI, and and I think that's a great way to do it. We don't have to micromanage. We just give you the incentive not to be a fatty bombatty.
There you go.
I don't know if that would actually work, but I wouldn't actually advocate for something like that. In fact, I think we need no taxes, but
Right. Ideally.
if we're going to play that game, we could play that game. Hey, look at the time. Final break. Be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hey, this is Troy with All Access Overhead Door. We've been advertising with Blue Water, and trust me, it works. Take it from me. You need to get your business out there in the river region, you can count on Blue Water Broadcasting. And remember, if you need an overhead door repair, then you can count on All Access Overhead Door.
Radio reaches over 90% of everyone in the river region. Shouldn't your ads be out there where your customers are? Call us to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it.
But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
No one wants to wait on service for an overhead door. With 20 years in the industry, you now have access to the best with All Access Overhead Door. All Access Overhead Doors offers prompt professional service at affordable prices on all service and new garage doors for residential and commercial locations. All Access Overhead Door serves the river region and can take care of whatever you need when it comes to your overhead door. Remember, you have access to the best. All Access Overhead Door. Call and schedule an appointment today. 320-2440. And like them on Facebook. They sell the best and service the rest.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Mark. Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Doing great. All right. If y'all need to call me, let me tell you what my buddy did.
Okay.
So I've got a really, really close friend of mine that's married, but not for long. He took his wife on a surprise trip to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Now, they live down in Panama City, and I'll give out his name, Stu Vaughn. And Stu is famous for being cheap.
Okay.
Okay? And so he's been giddy about this trip for months. He's been telling me all about it. He wasn't going to tell her. He's going to surprise her. Matter of fact, can we spend the night with y'all Thursday night, and we're going to get up early and go Friday morning to Gatlinburg. Have a great weekend. Sure, no problem. It all went well. They came in, we had dinner, they left early in the morning. All was fine until I get a call late Friday night, and it's Kim wanting to know if she can come back and stay with us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, what's wrong? And she said, this fool's done signed us up for a timeshare meeting.
What?
You know where they give you the free house?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I told Aunt Justin, see, this is why I hang out with him. He makes me look so good.
Stu, what is wrong with you?
The more you think about it, the funnier it is.
Wow.
Yeah, he said after the 2 or 3 hour beatdown where they try to sell you on this thing, and he called me the next day and said it wasn't worth it, Ray. It wasn't worth it.
No kidding. We could have told you that before you signed up.
I should have seen his face. I'm like, speechless.
Goodness gracious.
So anyway, if any of you guys do boneheaded moves like that, the moral of this story is you got to find a buddy that does even worse things than you do, and hang on to him tight, because he's going to make you look really good every now and then.
And again, folks, if you're looking for new floors, 285-8117. When you call them up at 285-8117, tell those fine folks there at Prattville Carpet that you heard Ray Bowles on the radio with that Joey fella.
I hope that makes everybody happier, because that was pretty daggum stupid. Guys, y'all have a great day.
Oh, good to have friends that do silly things. Let's go to Sandy. Hey, Sandy.
Sandy. Hey, Joey and Pam.
Hi.
I think people who are large should have to pay for 2 plane seats and 2 stadium seats.
That's fair when you take
Yeah.
up 2.
Oh, yeah, especially
Absolutely.
like over at Jordan Hare where it's still bleacher sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not
I was
fun
on
to
a
be tucked in.
flight. This was a long time ago, where I had the window seat, but I didn't really care. It didn't matter. And there was a large couple already in the 2 seats that were aisle in the middle. And I said, I'm happy to sit over here if you would like one, if you'd like to move to the window. Oh, no, we're staying right here. Well, I had to climb over them. and I had about half a seat because they took up almost 3 seats. This is a married couple. And the minute the plane took off, they got out their food. They ate lunches and sandwiches and drinks and cookies. When they got, and they, as soon as the plane landed and we could leave, honey, they blew out of there like a streak and left a whole picnic behind them in those 2 seats. It was absolutely disgusting. Disgusting.
Goodness.
That's my fat story for the day.
Thank you, Sandy. Oh, that sounds miserable. Like whenever I do a flight, I get small. Like I got sunglasses, I got a hat,
I know.
I got earbuds. Like I really
Take
don't
up
need
as little
anything.
space as possible. Pretend you're not there.
Yeah, and just endure the flight.
Mm-hmm.
Folks like wearing shorts,
Yeah.
pulling out their
Why
their,
move in?
like Lunchables. Oh my god!
Have you seen the pictures of people like who take out their feet and like put them on the armrest in
Oh,
front
God.
of them and like really get
Feet
super
are-
comfortable?
Feet are gross.
I know.
I know there's some fellas walking around there like Tarantino. You know what I'm talking about. They
Mm-hmm.
like feet, but I don't like feet. I don't like feet. I don't like feet at all.
No.
I don't even like
Do
my
you
own
wear
feet.
flip flops?
Yeah, sometimes, but not all the time everywhere.
Yeah. Like time and a place.
I usually wear boots now. Wearing boots most days. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Greg Bedell and Pamela.
We're coming up.
They're next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1.